Darling Stadium in Hampton, Virginia, LSC presents high school football. The Hampton Crabbers versus the Kecoughtan Warriors. I'm Tim Cole along with Bob Hintz. We welcome you to Darling Stadium for tonight's game between the undefeated Hampton Crabbers at 5-0 and the 2-3 Kecoughtan Warriors. Bob, I understand this Kecoughtan has 3 losses, but they're really played some well-played games.
They really have, but the young man by his name of Savage, who is a quarterback, had sprained his foot actually at the first in preseason scrimmage, and he never got back on track until they played against Bethel. They got beat by Bethel, but it was a game that who had the ball last probably was going to win. And but they're a good team, offensively, defensively, tough. They're a big team, but Hampton is bigger than we've seen them in a long time.
Well, and of course, Hampton has been big and they've been strong for year after year. And of course, their 5-0 record once again proves that. They have a young quarterback who has a lot of history, a lot of family history. Tell us a little bit about that before we go to the interview.
Well, you and I were talking earlier. His dad quarterback Kecoughtan to the state championship game that we did over at Norfolk State at Price Stadium. His granddad took Newsom's place down at Heritage, and took him to the state championship. So he's got some good genes.
Well, and we've talked also, as we will throughout the game, we've talked about a lot of the people who you and I started doing this games in 1980. And a lot of these kids now, are playing for the schools that their daddies played when we did the broadcast. So does that make you old enough?
Well, I feel like I've gone back in time with you. This is great, you coming up and doing this game. But you're right. These guys, it seems like every year I hear names and I said, well, is that such and such a name? And sure enough, one year it was a Campbell kid that played for Bethel as a quarterback. I coached his dad in basketball, so wow.
Well, there's some great history with these schools, and so it's a great honor for me to come back, and after quite a hiatus from doing these games, it's a thrill to be here and celebrating your 35 years of doing this, and 35 years continually for LSC, which was formerly WHCS, and 23 and 5 and 46 and
whatever. It's been everything, but you and I have had history. We've stayed in touch, because I would never have done this as well as I have if it hadn't been for you. And I'm telling everybody, you made me better.
No, I don't think that's the case, but thank you. That's very kind of you. Listen, right now, we're going to do a Ron Baton thing. We're going to go back in time, as Bob had a chance to talk to head coach Mike Smith a little earlier.
Over 450 wins, over 800 wins for the school, 9th in the thing. What keeps you going? You're like the Energizer Bunny. You just keep going and going and going. What gets your juices flowing?
I was going to ask you the same thing, Bob. Remember, you're a little bit ahead of me.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know. I think the competition and just being around the kids more than anything.
Well, you've always had good quarterbacks and good kids, because I've never talked to you. You didn't really love your team.
Well, if you don't, then you need to separate, Right. It doesn't work out. It's like any bad situation. But we've got good kids there. They're hard to handle sometimes because they like little kindergarten kids. They want to play too much. But they're good kids.
Right. Yeah. Well, we talk about the different guys that you've had that were related, but I want to talk about Quillen first of all, because his dad was a quarterback at Kecoughtan. His grandpa coached the state championship team. You got a good athlete in this young man.
Great kid. Of course, I've known his grandfather John, and I knew his dad Javon. My son Brian played with his dad over at Kecoughtan.
Right.
Before Brian came to Hampton his last year. And, of course, his dad played with Ronald Curry and Michael Vick in the All-Star game, so he had 3 pretty good quarterbacks in that game.
Yes, they did. Listen, I'm going to give you some names, and you kind of help me out here. Newsom, Wilson, Watford, Hagens, all first cousins.
All goes back to grandfather Watford. And I think all other than David, all of them helped their grandfather lay carpets, so he toughened them up. And, David escaped, but great group of kids.
And you seem like it's every time I turn around, there's another Newsom or there's another, they just keep coming.
Well, I think we got the last of them now. He's a junior.
Yeah.
Daz. Daz, and he's a good one. He's the Deion Sanders guy. Daz, nothing bothers him. He's a free-spirited guy.
Oh, you love that in a kid. That's great. Well, Mike, I want to ask you one last question. You've seen Kecoughtan play. Last year, you told me how good you thought their quarterback could throw the ball. They are now playing a little bit better, even though they've had some tough losses. What do you expect from Kecoughtan tonight, Mike?
I think Kecoughtan could very well be 5-0 at this time right now.
Yeah.
Or 6-0. They may have played 6 games. I think it started out, the Savage kid was banged up early, didn't get to play the first couple of games, and had to work through that. And the running back is a tremendous athlete. I mean, he's
kid, yeah.
Fugate, tough on offense, tough on defense, and then number 3 plays well on both sides of the ball. Now, I mean, those I think are the 3 guys that kind of spark that team, and all 3 of them are excellent football players. But overall, they're a good football team. So I think. We beat them last year with about 4 seconds to go. We've had trouble kicking field goals this year. I don't know. We haven't kicked one.
You had Bo Lomax last year. Well, Mike, appreciate you taking time to talk to me. Good luck to you tonight.
Thanks, Bob. But we got Jesus this year, so.
Yeah, Jesus. I talked to you a little bit. Thanks again. All right, let's go back over to town.
Mike Smith, of course, is a legend at Hampton High School. As you mentioned in the interview, 450 victories. This man has taken his teams to the state championship year after year when Phoebus wasn't.
Yeah.
But he's got a great team again. They're undefeated, so it should be an exciting game from his aspect.
It is always exciting when you got, but Mike's been here for 45 years. Of the 800 wins, 805 wins that Hampton High he's got over half of them. That says something.
And again, year after year, it kind of amazes you because you see the same coach bring out new kids. Some of them sons of daddies we did, and they just keep developing these fine athletes who ultimately go on to great college careers and professional careers. We'll talk more about that too.
Done that, yes. There's a lot of them done that.
So let's go back in time again, as Bob had a chance a little earlier to talk with head coach Alonzo Coley of Kecoughtan High School.
All right, thanks, Coach. I watched you at Kecoughtan when you first went there. You really changed the mindset of the kids over there. They now believe they can win. You've had some tough losses. Last year against Hampton, you lost in the last 4 seconds on a field goal. But you've got to be proud of what you guys have accomplished. And I'm talking not just you, but your coaches.
Well, we have, and we're not happy just yet. Guys have come a long way. We've done a lot of things to make them tough and have a mindset of a winning culture. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it all starts in the weight room, doesn't it?
It does. That's where you get strong. That's where you build your team. That's where you build your camaraderie, and that goes a long way during the season.
All right, now I want to talk about a couple of your players because you got some good ones now. Desmond Savage, early in his season, he had a sprained foot, and you could see. But the last game I saw you guys play against Bethel, scrambled, kept his eyes down the field. That's got to be something. You guys work on that?
Absolutely. He played really well last week against Phoebus. I think he's back to 100% right now. We work on it all the time. Really drill his feet real hard. He's doing a good job. Hopefully he'll have a big game tonight.
Well, Mike Smith told me that you could be undefeated right now. He says that's the kind of team you've got. He said you got a great team. And I have to agree with him. I think offensively you're as good as any team I've seen on the district.
I think we could be. We had some tough luck, and we've had some things where we had to grow up a little bit on defense and up front. I think the guys have matured, and we're getting where we need to be.
All right, let's talk about number 71, Keegan Brown, offensive lineman. Now, most of the time you don't get to talk about offensive lineman, but you like this guy.
I really do. 6'5", about 270. 3-year starter for us. Great kid in the classroom. He interns at NASA. I mean, he's a great kid, smart kid, and he always works real hard. He's been an anchor for our line this year.
And he's a leader by example.
By example, man. He's the hardest working kid, and we got.
All right, let's talk about number 1, Caleb Tucker. Now, this kid not just plays football. He wrestles, he runs track, and he's also got an offer somewhere already.
Yes, he got offered to VMI. He won his weight class in the region in wrestling. Tough kid. Really worked on his speed and got a lot better. Worked on his hands, so he's been an asset on both sides of the ball this year.
All right, now let's talk a little bit about Hampton. You've seen Hampton play more than once this year already, and you know where the offense is going to start. What do you guys? How do you prepare for Hampton?
Well, first of all, you got to stop Javon Quillen. He's a great athlete, great kid. You know, runs real well. He's got a real strong arm. He's got a good receiver out there, and Daz Newsome on offense. Defensively, they're up front. They're big, and they got some real strong kids. So you know, we got to be prepared to always. And Mike always has them well coached. So we got to go out and match that. So.
All right. Well, listen, Coach. I want to wish you luck tonight, and I love what you're doing over at Kecoughtan. Just keep it up.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right. Let's go over to Tim.
All right, we are back at the stadium, and Hampton has received the kickoff, and he's still going. He may go all the way.
Daz Newsome.
Daz Newsome, we'll show you the replay. They started the game a little bit early on us, but that was quite the run back. So Hampton returns the opening kickoff for a touchdown. We'll get the exact measurement on that in just a moment.
Yeah. Can we get the truck to turn down the mic just a minute? Blow my ears off here.
All right. So the Crabbers strike quickly. Extra point try is coming.
Jesus Venezuela.
Jesus Venezuela. Okay. 70. See, I don't have a 78 on my roster.
No, he's new.
Oh, he's so new we didn't make our roster.
Yeah.
The kick is up, and it is good. So less than 16 seconds have elapsed here in the first quarter, and Hampton takes the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
Well, Bob, I was just down here on the sidelines on that touchdown return, and the coaches from Kecoughtan are having a very serious discussion with each other. A little bit adamant, but I mean, I think they're a little bit upset with some coverage on one side of that kickoff.
All right, thank you, Brent. I guess you would be. You know, you've got to have your special teams ready, and again, they obviously had some great blocking by Hampton on that kickoff, and they returned it all the way for the touchdown.
Well, and that was designed to go to the right side, Tim, and you could see where he picked up block and then really just stepped out of one potential tackle. They were down at about the 20-yard line and just took it on in. He's one young man that we talked about earlier. He's the last Newsome to come along, and he's just a junior.
That was 86 yards. 86 yards on the return, and the kick is in the air and taken at about the 5-yard line. The Warriors will have it out to the 30 where they swarm the runner, and that's where Kecoughtan will start.
Well, Kecoughtan was down real big against Bethel and came back, so I expect them to do that. They're not going to let one play dictate this game.
Well, you know, it's tough when you've played 16 seconds and already you're down a touchdown to an undefeated team, so they do have their work cut out for them. So we're going to see the starting lineups in just a couple of moments. And right after this play, starting from the 31-yard line. Pass is overthrown, and let's see, did he catch the ball? Is it an interception?
No,
They're saying no.
No, it hit the ground.
So the ball almost picked off by the Crabbers' number 5, Daz Newsome. He's almost made himself well-known real quickly in this game.
Yes, he was.
So that was a little overthrown ball.
Wide open receiver. Didn't get to catch the number of it. Here, you see the lineup. You got Savage at quarterback, Skylar Wilson at running back with Fugate. Brandy's a wide receiver. Stevenson, tight end is Chris. Your tackles are Brown and Lowry. Your guards are Harris and Olivis, and Blake Bashore is the center, number 60.
Flag thrown on the play after a short gain of about 3 yards.
And that usually means holding if it's right there in the middle.
Officials will get together and show us what happened. The illegal chop block. So one of the Warriors committed the below the knees.
Well, no, what happened basically is what happens after you get the defense here.
All right, here's the defense for the Crabbers. Of course, the free safety is Quillen, who also plays quarterback. Daz Newsom is the cornerback. Safety is Rashad Taylor. The other cornerback is Darrell Wells. Majette is the middle linebacker. Outside linebacker, Trequan Smith. Antone Brown is another outside linebacker. The defensive ends are Coleman and Jones. The tackles, Conliff and Johnson. And in motion to the near side.
Well, what they do with the chop block now is if you're engaged a defensive man or an offensive man or whatever above the shoulders and another guy comes and hits him below, chop block 15 yards. You can't have two people hit him, not necessarily at the same time, but one high and one low. And
yeah, you can't be engaged with a blocker and have another blocker hit you.
There you go.
And all of this, of course, for the safety of the players. They want to make sure, because this can be a very difficult situation when you get hit high and low.
Well, you take on a knee, and then that's the season and maybe your career.
Yeah. So we got third down and about 25 for the Warriors. Again to pass, this time completed at basically the original line of scrimmage. Looks like the catch was made by number 3, Christ.
And he's their the main go-to guy on offense. That's who they try to get the ball to. Fugate will run. He's got a lot of speed. But if they pass the ball, Chris is the guy that they're going to be looking for.
So the Warriors will be in deep punt formation, standing at the 15-yard line. It's a low bouncing kick. Newsom wants to do something with it, but he's going to be very wisely not going to do so, as he'll let the ball be downed at the 30-yard line. That's where the Crabbers will have it on offense for the first time, even though they lead 7-0. Just a reminder, in high school football, you have 4 12-minute quarters, unlike college where you have 15-minute quarters. Here is the Hampton offensive lineup. Quillen is the quarterback. Strickland the running back. Williams is the fullback. The flex back is Antone Brown. Trevon Davis is the split end. Newsom the wide receiver. Powell the center. The guards are Christie and Coleman, and the tackles are Red and Morris. Crabbers come to the line with Jovan Quillen at quarterback. He stumbles as he tries to turn the left side and is stopped after a minimal gain. About a yard on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Looked like somebody might have got a hand on his foot that time as he's making the move.
As you mentioned in the pregame interview, Bob, Jovan Quillen comes from a long line of successful players and coaches.
Yes, he does that.
From the family.
And what a nice family, too. They're just super nice. I was able to get them into Sports Time and interview both the dad and the granddad.
Another short gain by the Crabbers. So the Kecoughtan defense probably was given a real quick word from the coaching staff that they better be ready to stop.
All right, on defense for the defensive ends, we have Kristen Booty. The nose guard is Thompson. The linebackers are Nixon, Webb, and Edwards. The defensive backs, Fugate and Tucker. The cornerbacks are Clinton Davis, and Rosado is the strong safety.
3rd down and about 8. And again, not much yardage, as the Kecoughtan defense has done a nice job of shutting down the Hampton offense on their first possession, and they'll get the ball back.
And that was Webb that made that tackle that time. Webb was the young man I was telling you about, one of the linebackers. And that's the job of the linebackers, is to find plug the hole.
So Hampton will be in deep punt formation. That is Quillen, who does everything but bring the water out at halftime.
We got Grandy and Stevenson are the two deep.
Now we've got a stoppage in play. It might have been a delay of game. Let's see what the call is.
Substitution infraction.
No, that's
against the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Illegal substitution.
Remains 4th down.
So apparently the Crabbers had more players on the field as they were allowed.
It only takes one more.
Only takes one more.
I can remember when I was first at Bethel High School, Bolin Shoup was a coach over there, and when he'd have
Let me interrupt you for a minute, Bob. That ball precariously bouncing around a crowd of two teams.
Yeah.
You had to be real cautious, because if that ball bounded into a Kecoughtan Warrior, it's a live ball.
Right. Well, anyway, what I was talking about is the goal line. He'd send in extra people. He'd get 11 or 12 people, 12, sometimes 13 if he could sneak them in. It didn't take long for the coaches to figure that out.
Hey, if they're on the goal line, what do you got to lose, right? If they don't catch it. Oh, wait a minute, we don't advocate cheating.
Well, no, but you look at it, and 5 yards is just half the distance.
Right. So the Warriors have the ball for the second time tonight. You can see on the screen there's 6:28 left here in the first quarter. If you tuned us in late, you missed a very exciting opening kickoff return of 86 yards by Daz Newsom. Again, the Warriors with a short gain. Ball carrier that time was Fugate.
Fugate, he's got the kind of guy that if he gets through the line of scrimmage, he's got a lot of speed and break and get him open. He's just going off tackle that time, and Kecoughtan was blocking it well, but Hampton was able to stop it with their defense.
Out of the shotgun.
And you see how good Fugate looks for the break, looks for the hole, Tim.
Fugate picked up about 9 yards, going to be very close to a first down. It looks like it's about a yard shy of the first down markers.
Hey, we got a chance to go Eagle Eye maybe tonight, right?
Yeah. Okay, well, let's watch that on the replay.
Oh,
that's not the
a good replay.
That's not the replay. You see.
Well, that is a replay in a sense.
Yeah, that's true. So Fugate, I tell you, that high definition picture is something else.
Isn't that nice?
3rd down and a yard. Quick pass left side, completes it. Still on his feet, inbounds, finally knocked out of bounds, but not until the Warriors get into Hampton territory at the 42-yard line.
Actually, that's about the 38, I believe, Tim. 38 or 37.
You're right. 38, 37. That was Keith Grandy on the receiving end of that. He's a junior, and he gives the Warriors their initial first down of the ball game.
Oh, I don't know about that. He didn't work at Buckwald Engraving.
First down at the 38. And not going anywhere. The defense smothers Savage.
He had a nice pocket, stepped up, and then it just collapsed on him.
And I would guess that might be as much of a coverage sack as it was anything, because he just didn't have time to find anybody.
You watch the replay. He's got a nice little pocket here. He steps up, but then it just nowhere for him to go.
Number of Crabbers, including number 9, Elijah Conliffe, in for the sack. So it's 2nd down and 12, almost 13 now. Out of the shotgun again. Savage trying to find some passing opportunity. He throws it well out of bounds, but he does in fact avoid a loss on the play.
I watched him against Bethel, and he did a great job of scrambling, but he kept his eyes down the field. And that's what's hard to teach a young high school quarterback, to do that. And that's one of Ron Baton's favorite shots, the young fans that we have in the stadium.
Savage so far in the first quarter, 2 out of 5 for 30 yards. So Savage with a nice gain on that previous play. Third down rather, and 13. Again, out of the shotgun. They've almost exclusively played from the shotgun. Savage throws, it's incomplete. Had a man open.
He fell down.
Yep, at the
Making
30-yard line.
There was Grandy.
Lost his footing. The field is in real good shape.
It really is, considering there was a game played here Tuesday night, and we got a lot of rain, but we got it spread over a period of time, and we didn't get anything like what you guys got down in South Carolina, let me tell you.
There you see the incomplete pass. You know, and we really hadn't had a chance to talk about that, but Hampton's coming into this game with just 2 days to prepare for this game. They had, as usual, a tough game with Bethel on Tuesday night. So in deep punt formation, the left-footed kicker, short kick, takes a Kecoughtan roll to about the 22-yard line. And that's where the Crabbers will take over.
Well, this is where Kecoughtan's going to have to rely on their defense to stop them like they did the last time. But you look at that front five that they've got. Chris is 210, Moody is 220, Thompson is 275, Webb is 210, Nixon is 225. So you got some big guys up there. In fact, I told one guy, I says, these guys are so big that if you make them mad, they come to your house and eat all your food.
Hampton on the ground, out to about the 26-yard line, so a gain of about 4 yards on that play. That was Demetrius Strickland carrying the ball for Hampton. You know, one thing I've learned over the 35 years we've been doing this thing, my eyesight isn't quite as good, or they're making the numbers on the jerseys smaller. I'm not sure which it is.
No, but we got some jerseys up here that you cannot see. We got a flag.
Yep.
On the play.
Oh, and that's going to be a big one, too.
As against Hampton.
Holding on the offense.
There we
We've
go.
got a holding
Mark
call.
off half the distance to the goal from the spot of the foul.
You have the officials?
Replay the down.
Mayhew is the referee. I just don't know who the rest of them are.
Yeah, I do not have the officials.
If we can get Mad to
there you go. Take the
Matt
other
to
graphic
put them
then.
up there, we'll be good.
There we go.
There you go. Mayhew, Matthews, Ray, Whitfield, Eason.
Eason, there's a name synonymous with Hampton.
Allen, and I'll let you pronounce that last one.
As good as anything. I'm moving back to South Carolina on Monday, so he's going to have to hunt me.
Well, but if he hunts me down, he'll get your email.
So little or no gain on that last play brings up second down and 21 yards to go for the Crabbers. They lead 7-0. As you see, 5:16 remaining here in the first quarter. Hampton and Kecoughtan coming to you from Darling Stadium. On the option play, this is Quillen, and Quillen tries the left side with, again, minimal success as the Kecoughtan Warriors played that very well. Their defense has looked real good so far.
Yeah, I'm real excited about how they're playing defense, because a lot of people think, and me as one, their offense is better than defense, but right now their defense has stepped up. You have to do it, Tim. You're 11 seconds into the game and you're down 7 already.
That's a tough one to come back from, but to their credit, they haven't let it to disturb the defense. They've really picked it up.
Good point. Good point.
So far, Quillen has carried 5 times just for 10 yards. So the Warrior defense has done a fine job of keeping them under wraps. Back to pass is Quillen. Has time, now scrambles a little bit, goes down, but he gets the pass away, and it's complete for a first down. What a nice run after catch.
There's Newsom.
Wait a minute, I think they're going to say he was out of bounds, and there's a penalty marker on the play, so let's wait and see.
That could be holding when you have that much time to pass the ball.
The officials across the way, as you can see, discussing the play. So it would have been enough for a first down from our vantage point, although it looked like one of the officials indicated he might have stepped out of bounds sooner than that.
Here's the replay from Ron Baton's camera.
Yeah. Illegal man downfield, I believe, is the call we're going to get.
Oh, wow.
And again, that happens a lot when you have a lot of time before you release the ball.
Well, and it's been known that
Ineligible receiver downfield against the offense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay the down.
And running. So sometimes you think, okay, he hasn't passed yet. I better get down and block somebody. thinking like a lineman would. You got to make sure that you make contact with somebody. Oh, Brett Wheeler, number 18 there. Remember him playing? He was a pitcher at Kecoughtan High School.
Absolutely, remember that name.
Took him to the state championship.
So far, Hampton has had 3 penalties totaling 23 yards, so it's really slowed their offense down as it's 3rd down and long now. Quillen standing at the goal line, tosses it up, and there's a battle for the ball. It goes incomplete, and some real fine coverage on the play. The intended receiver was number 24, Burnell Pulley.
And Kevin Davis was a defender on there and did a great job of playing the ball, and the receiver really had a hard time trying to get to the ball. Tim, we will pick a player of the game tonight, and that player will receive a shirt from each one of these 2 teams. It comes from David Chubb and Terry McLemore at Tidewater Team Sports, so we want to keep that in mind, and we do appreciate everything that Tidewater Team Sports has done for us.
Kecoughtan got some pressure on the kicker, but the ball is relatively short. So Kecoughtan's going to have real good field position at the 32-yard line.
Wow, what kind of field position? That's almost about where they started last time. They started, no, it was on the 38 or 37 last time. But
well, they're winning the game of field position right now.
Right now.
Losing the game on the scoreboard, but winning it on the field position. So Kecoughtan will have the ball once again. You see on the screen, trailing 7-0. Kecoughtan coming into the season 2-3 overall, 2-2 in the district. Hampton 5-0 in both overall play and the district. Almost broke that one.
Oh, wow.
That was really close to being all the way. Number 13 for the Warriors carrying the ball. That was Edwards.
Elijah Conliff, number 9, 6'1", 195-pound senior, got 1 foot, and that's all he needed to do to get him down. But he picked up quite a bit of yardage, almost the first down.
Yep.
In fact,
actually,
are they going to measure? Okay, yeah, Eagle, you get a chance.
I got a.
Is the ball smaller?
The ball is smaller, and I couldn't see where the original mark was. That's going to be my story, and I'm sticking to it. I think they're going to be a little short. Nope. I'm 0 for 1. 0 for 1. I got to admit, I really wasn't.
You were
didn't have a good
prepared.
end. And my glass is all nasty in front of me here. Did you bring the Windex?
You're going to stick to that story.
That's it.
Okay.
Till I can
just want to make sure.
Just want to prove me wrong. All right, they restart the clock with the first down. Inside handoff, not much happening on that one as the Hampton defense stiffens. 5-6 Crabbers there to make the stop. And again, the Warriors running DeQuandre Edwards with the ball. He is just a sophomore. Not a starter, by the way. A gain of just a yard on that one. 2nd down and 9. Out of the shotgun. And he puts his head down and picks up a couple of tough yards on the right-hand side. That was Fugate again.
Fugate. There's Newsom in there and making the stop.
So it brings up 3rd down, and really kind of a crucial 3rd down right now because I don't know much about their kicking game, but this is probably a stretch right now. They'd like to get that 1st down, needless to say. Fugate has the ball, tries to get inside, and he's going to be close to the 1st down. A late flag comes out.
Oh, that's got to be holding.
Well, it could be holding, could be a face mask, could be a couple of things, but we'll wait and see what they call. It's real close to a 1st down if it stands, but the way I see the Kecoughtan Warriors backing up, I think that's not going to be the case.
That's holding. The preliminary signal is holding.
So again, our referee, who's been rather busy so far this evening.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, 3rd down.
We'll talk about the camera people. We got Susan Bowers, Ube Gabre, Steve Fryer, and Ronnie ESPN Baton on cameras, graphics and animation. Matt Buckwalter, you know his daddy. Slow motion is replay, Krista Campbell. Camera control operator, Renee Camden. Audio, Randy Bagoli. Director, Andy Foley. Executive producer, Andy Foley. And announcers. On the field, we got Brett Musgrove, Paul Rowe, Frank Edgar up here doing stats, Tim Cole, and I'm Bob Hint.
Kecoughtan penalized twice now for 25 yards, but that was a real important play there because they were real close to having the first down, and now they're looking at a 3rd down and 13. So this is going to be a much tougher situation for them. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
And that's Kecoughtan that called the timeout.
Well, and I think the coaches do understand how crucial this is to get a first down here, or at least get within potential field goal range. Because they'd love to have a field goal be the difference in this game after their loss last year in the final 4 seconds.
Yeah.
Out of the shotgun. Has time. Had a man open across the middle. He's got it at the 18-yard line, down into the.
He got a touchdown. Wow.
On the receiving end, Keith Grandy.
And he's their
Or was
go-to
that
man.
Chris? No, it was actually number 3, I believe.
Was it 3, Chris?
Well, I'm being told it was number 4, so we'll have to wait for the replay. I don't want to get into it with Frank.
Well, you're going
Being
home
an
soon.
attorney and all.
Well, yeah.
Never argue with an attorney.
Never?
Never.
Okay.
Well, unless you're paying him.
Who we got kicking it?
And the kick is up and no good. I believe it was blocked. So the Warriors strike with the big touchdown play.
After a couple of big penalties, still ended up getting the score. Here we watch it. Nice throw right there.
That is number 4. That was right. Keith Grandy. Hey, Frank was right. That's why I didn't argue with him. But they do not tie the ball game because the kick was blocked. That was a pretty play, though.
It was.
He was wide open, and then he made a real nice play. Okay. So who did Andy say that with? Mordecai and Dr. and Grove. Or better known as Mutt and Jeff in some circles. Look at the height difference in those two. 4 plays, 32 yards. Did I just insult the school board somehow? Okay. This was taken by Newsom at the 10-yard line. Goes to the outside. Shades of the opening kickoff. Oh, and he got tackled just across midfield on a potentially touchdown-saving tackle by number 14. That is Cameron Stevenson.
Wow.
And he really prevented what could have been the second of 2 touchdown returns by.
And in the same way. Baby shot.
Yeah.
There we go. Love the young fans.
Newsom had 7 touchdowns rather in a game 2 games ago. So
Yeah.
Newsom knows how to find the end zone.
He does. We got a flag down that just picked up. And it's going against the Crabbers.
And Mike Smith is asking Mr. Mayhew to explain why the flag.
He's asking real nice, too.
Our referee, Jimmy Mayhew, will tell us what happened or not.
I guess not. But it had to be illegal block in the back or something, or holding at that point of.
Well, nonetheless, the Crabbers will have the ball, but instead of having it across midfield, they will be all the way back to the 30-yard line, 31-yard line to be exact. 7-6, as you can see. A little more than a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. quick lateral to the right side. I believe that was, in fact, a lateral because it appeared from here that it was not a forward pass. Fortunately, the young man caught it.
It looked like the Kecoughtan guy had a chance to intercept that ball.
That was Traquan Smith, number 32, who made the grab, but actually lost
about 4, it looks like.
Almost 5 yards.
Well, I'm glad they didn't make the down marker smaller.
No, unfortunately for that. Have to get these.
I love this.
Oh, that.
Remember we had the little one up here?
Yes, and I think we started out with hand-cranked cameras when we started this 1980. Pitch to the left side and slammed to the ground.
32.
Number 32, that would be again Mr. Smith, who caught the pass a moment ago.
That was Caleb Tucker, number 1, that made that tackle, I believe.
And he made a emphatic tackle on that play. Watch as he goes coming up from his position and slammed him to the ground. All legal.
And Tim, they basically got back the yardage that they lost.
So it brings up 3rd down now. So it's 3rd down and 10 from the 31. Quillen with lots of time. Has a man open downfield, and he throws it complete. And stopped just short of the goal line. What a play.
No, he didn't go down. He did not go down.
Wow.
He never touched.
Wow.
The only one that went down was the official.
It looked like he was flipped off his feet when they're placing the ball at the 2-yard line. So perhaps we're going to have a discussion as to whether or not it was a touchdown.
No, he's.
Are you just going to put it there for the point?
Yeah. Mayhew just signaled a touchdown.
Wow. So that was from the 31-yard line. That's 69 yards on that play.
Wow.
Right after this extra point, we'll show you that one again. And that one's blocked. So we've had 2 extra points blocked here in the first half.
Well, Tim, we got a minute with half or at the end of the first quarter. Let's go down.
Watch the replay of this pass. Quillen had all kinds of time.
Yeah, we'll go down to the sideline and talk to Brent Musgrove and Paul Rowe. And you watch right here.
Now, see, his elbow went down.
Yeah, he was down.
He was down. That's what I saw initially. Andy, can you rewind that just real quickly? Well, never mind. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, guys.
Hey, guys, just down here on the field, we've been talking about this. Until those 2 pass plays between Kecoughtan and Hampton, each scoring, they've been killing each other with penalties. They could not sustain their drive because of the penalties. Now, all of a sudden, in the last 2 minutes, each team's been able to put together a scoring drive. So it looks like it's going to open up, Bob, into what we were talking about. And if Savage gets going with the passing game, and Hampton's going to have to respond.
And Kecoughtan's been playing, and you guys have mentioned it, some great defense, especially on their line. That front line has just stood everybody up on their ears, and the linebackers have been coming in and putting a lot of pressure on Quillen at quarterback, making him do some things he doesn't normally do on the field. But Hampton, with the 2 great plays, the return and that long pass, have the lead in this game right now.
Back up to y'all, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot, guys.
So that was a $1:42 in time, 3 plays, 69 yards, and we'll take another look at that touchdown in just a moment. And again, the official fell down, so he may not. Now that young man's knee went down at about the 16-yard line. So of course, in high school football, in case you're not familiar, all you have to do is go down to your knee, and even if you weren't tackled, it doesn't matter. Okay, here's the replay on the touchdown. So let's see.
Your helmet can't touch.
Yep.
Your elbow can't touch. Your
no.
knee can't touch.
Now let's watch this, and we'll have this in slow motion, and take nothing away from Newsom's effort. He just absolutely wasn't to be denied. But right here, his elbow is clearly down. His forearm and elbow are on the ground, and the official fell down. And
he didn't really see that,
no.
So he called a touchdown.
Yep, I think that's the fact, Jack. So bad snap, and the Warriors back to the live action, fall on the ball, back inside the 10 at the 7-yard line, so they'll have a loss on that play. So the Crabbers, and again, take nothing away from the effort. That was an amazing pass and completion to Newsom, but it did appear that his elbow was down at the 2-yard line, and that's what I thought I saw initially. But
well, you were known as Eagle Eye for nothing, you know. You can't pick up those little nuances.
Well, and I never want to sound critical of the officials because they have the toughest job in sports.
And you might get an email from Bone.
Savage scrambling, and he picks up some nice yardage after that loss on the bad snap, or at least the mishandling of the snap. Gets it out to the 12-yard line, so it brings up 3rd down and a long 13, it looks to be.
That would be my guess.
Yep.
A good shot of the sideline, the Warriors sideline on the home side tonight. This is their homecoming.
Gain of a couple for the Warriors. Now
so that means we'll have a 20-minute halftime.
There you see Coach Coley. Third down and 13. Randy trying to turn the corner. And he loses the ball, but it was out of bounds when that happened nonetheless. Actually, that's not
Newgate, number 5. So you got 3, 4, and 5. Those almost need binoculars.
I do. I need a new pair of eyes. And actually, those numerals are hard to read.
They are. They're not
solid. They're outlines.
Well, you ought to spend.
That's my story again.
When Bethel played, they had all white jerseys with real light numbers. You couldn't read them.
The gold numbers, right?
Yeah.
You get in the ball game now. 4 carries for a total of 16 yards. The kick is away. And again, not a particularly long kick. It's going to be marked at about the 37-yard line.
I see a flag on over there. Looks like it's about the 34-yard line.
You sure do. It's been a lot of
sideline warning
flags thrown
Hampton
so far in this first half.
That was a sideline warning on the Crabbers.
So they're going to mark the ball at the 37-yard line. First down for Hampton. They lead by 7. Quillen, flare pass left side, completes the ball. And very close to the first down. It looks like he got the first down before he's pushed out of bounds. Trayvon Smith.
It was Tyquan Smith, number 32, getting the pass that time.
Trayvon. No, Traquan.
Traquan.
Yeah, there's a Trayvon and a Traquan.
There's a Trevon.
But that was a first down, and they'll mark the ball right at the 25. Crabbers in Kecoughtan territory, out of the shotgun. And this is Quillen, left side. He's got some running room. He's tripped up, but he is almost enough for another first down. Exactly where they'll mark it will determine it, but it looks to be just a little short of the first. Pickup of about 9.
That's just a fake handoff and is just a quarterback sweep to the left side. And I'm very surprised that you haven't said number 1 Ronald Curry yet.
Well, those are some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, you got that right.
And I'm not suggesting he can't and won't, but yeah, you're right. Number 1, Ronald Curry. Boy, does he bring back some memories. This Quillen again on the keeper, and he is inside the 5-yard line. Check that, inside the 10-yard line.
Yeah, you know what, Mr. Curry is now one of the wide receiver coaches for the San Francisco 49.
I didn't know that. I know he played as a wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders for a while.
Yep.
But who knows what he might have done if he hadn't gotten injured early in his career at North Carolina.
That's the truth. And he still holds some records down there. That's what blows your mind. He ruptured both Achilles tendons, I think, while he was down there.
This is 1st and goal.
Defense really stepped up that time.
Again, the ball carrier is Traquan Smith.
You know, I was thinking about, before we did this game, I was thinking about, you know, what are some of the games that come to memory as being outstanding and memorable? And the Ronald Curry career had so many of them, but the one that stands out in my mind was that game up at Virginia Union in an absolute quagmire and heavy rain and cold. I mean, it was like 40 degrees. And a young man played like it was a sunny afternoon in the early fall.
And, you know, one of the things I was talking about, Wube Gabre went with the College of Old Dominion with a guy that from Highland Springs, and Rinaldi was the coach up there doing, if you remember, he was doing radio right next to where we were doing. And he was not impressed with Curry until after the second quarter, and he says, oh, my goodness.
So 3rd down and goal for the Crabbers. Ball is right at the 5-yard line. There you see a nice-looking crowd on the Kecoughtan side, as you mentioned, Bob. Homecoming for the Warriors. Had a nice parade before the game tonight. I got caught in it, so I know all about it.
I thought you were part of it.
I was one of the floats. So now there's going to be a timeout called by the Crabbers as they want to talk about that. And that gives us a chance to talk about some things. You know, I was doing some statistical analysis while I was preparing for the game. I know you don't think I prepare for these things, but I really do. Over the years, Hampton has won 15 state championships dating back to 1937. That's phenomenal. Now,
and how many has Mike Smith won?
Well, I don't know. You know, I think it's 12. Yeah. And then Phoebus hasn't been too shabby either with 7 touchdown championships rather. And they had one of the longest winning streaks ever.
They won like what, 4 state championships in a row or something?
They did. They did from 8, 9, 10, and 11. So, you know, we have been blessed on the peninsula and in Hampton particularly to see some great football and basketball over the years, and softball, and baseball, and soccer. 3rd down and goal. This is Quillen, and he will not pick up even a yard as the defense swarmed to the right side on defense, left side for Quillen, and he was stopped dead in his tracks at the 5-yard line.
It was almost like they knew where the play was going to go.
Well, you know, before we did the game, I was talking with Frank, and he was telling me, you know, it's going to be Quillen right side, Quillen left side, Quillen right side. So, you know, if you start to have some kind of pattern, the defense will start keying on you. But
and that's, if you have a reverse, would be an awesome thing to call.
Yeah, you tend to catch people, you know, in that they're going to go for it, or at least appear to do so, on 4th and goal. Pitch to left side. And the Kecoughtan Warrior defense stops them cold.
Oh, it's a great job.
Got a young man down, too. One of the Hampton Crabbers shaken up on the play. I can't quite make out his number from here, but he is in real discomfort right now. If we get a chance, we'll identify him. Hopefully it's nothing. That's Quillen.
That looks like Quillen.
I believe that is number 1. So there is a stoppage of play.
And this is what you had brought up earlier, that Hampton is playing with 2 days rest, basically, Wednesday and Thursday.
Right. Well, and, you know, and we've already talked about it, so I don't want to be terribly redundant, but Kecoughtan's defense is playing superbly. I mean, yes, they've given up 13 points, but they were on big plays. One was a kickoff return, and the other was a 69-yard pass, which may or may not have been truly a touchdown. I'm not debating that they would have ultimately scored, but he's holding his right shoulder, which could be real bad news for the Crabbers.
Well, that's his throwing arm, number 1. Number 2, you know, he is in pain.
He is. There's no question about that. He's trying to work it out. You know, as they say, let's try and shake it off. But sometimes you can't shake that stuff off. But let's get back to the play. The Warrior defense did a great job. They had a 1st down and goal, the Crabbers did. And on 4 consecutive plays, they kept the Crabbers out of the end zone.
Unsportsmanlike conduct by Green. We'll go half the distance to the goal.
It's
1st
entirely
down,
possible that 2 days to prepare, and they had a tough game against Bethel. You know, they never have a cakewalk against the Bruins.
No, they didn't.
So, you know, that had to be a difficult. And I also read where they didn't practiced since the previous Thursday until they played the game on Tuesday because of the rain and the game conditions.
Right, and you can't, if there's no school, you don't get a chance to do anything.
So making no excuses. Okay, so we're going to see if we can replay and see what might have happened to Quillen on that play where he was
well, more than likely, Tim, what probably happened, he got tackled and then somebody came in to help finish it off, and that's a lot of weight going down the shoulder, and you're going on the side. That a lot of times you end up breaking a collarbone.
Look at it again after this play. Second down and about 5 for the Warriors, deep in their own territory. Fugate gets out to the 10, struggles for extra yardage to about the 12.
About 2 more.
Yeah, so he's close to the first down. That's a great second effort on his part.
And he got the first down.
Very well done. So the Warriors needed a first down to get away from their own goal line, and they got it. So are we ready, Andy, to take another look? Okay. The tape messed up. Yeah, I got the tape messed up. We haven't used tape since I was a young man. The Warriors on the ground, out to the 18-yard line. Well, nonetheless, we're going to have to keep an eye on the Hampton sideline. Fugate now with the ball this last time. Nice pickup of about 6.
That middle linebacker, Majette, that time, number 54, 5'10", 230, just a sophomore for Hampton, made that stop.
Second down. Fugate now 7 carries for 31 yards in the ballgame. This is Savage throwing, and he completes the pass for a first down across the 30-yard line, close to the 33-yard line. So Savage now starting to have some success with his throwing. Started out a little slowly. That was Grandy on the receiving end. So we're going to see if I believe we do have the replay where Quillen was shaken up. So this is Quillen with the ball. He pitches it out. Oh, he got hit.
Oh.
Got hit after he released the ball. That should have been a penalty, and the official was looking right at it. I got to question that lack of a call there, and I'm trying not to be critical.
If the official hadn't been there.
Watch this. He got hit there, and then 12 just knocked him dead on a, I won't say cheap shot, but that's close. Interesting. Again, Kecoughtan staying on the ground, eating up the clock here. As you see, we're under 5 minutes to go. That was
they're picking up 3, 4, and 5 yards at a crack, and they got plenty of time to get down and score.
That was Cameron Stevenson with the ball. Second down and 6 for Kecoughtan, trailing by 7 here in the second quarter. Quick flare pass does not work.
Well, they almost saw, they call that a bubble screen or a flanker screen or something like that. One of the guys supposed to block the first guy coming through there. If you miss that block, it's not going to go anywhere.
So it brings up a third down and 9 after the loss on that play. Now it looks like we're going to have a timeout.
Well, that's going to be the second timeout for the Warriors.
You know, again, some of my, you and I have been talking about this to celebrate the anniversary of this thing, but Phoebus has had some great seasons in football. Bethel clearly has. Allen Iverson, of course, phenomenal player with the Bruins. Let's not forget that Elon Lewis,
7 minutes
who had 96 touchdowns in his career for Phoebus.
It's amazing.
580 points, and he actually ended up with 3 more points in his career than Ronald Curry.
Is that right?
Curry had 577 points. God bless the internet. But each of them had 96 touchdowns.
Wow. That's
so
amazing.
That is
I'm
amazing.
going to throw a couple names, just one name out to you.
Okay.
Adibi.
Oh, a DB.
And there were 2 of them.
Yes, there was a couple of DBs that played over at Phoebus that just played phenomenally. The 3rd down and 9 as we're back to play. Savage has time, got a man open at the 39-yard line. He's still struggling, and he's not going to go anywhere beyond the 39-yard line as he is gang tackled.
I think they're going to mark him and they're going to give him the 40.
And that was number 44, Jonathan Milburn.
There were 2 receivers open that time. He picked the short one. But that brings up a 4th down now. So what do? You go for it? Hampton is very explosive, but Quillen's hurt.
Quillen's hurt. You got to obviously the coaching staff for the Kecoughtan Warriors has to consider that in this. It looks to me like they're going to go for it, but now Kecoughtan wants to take a timeout to discuss it a little longer. And, you know, they've been moving the ball pretty well. I mean, again, I think Hampton, and I'm only supposing this, I don't know it for a fact, but I got to think after 2 days of rest, they might be a little sore, a little bit tired. And
you got to be. There's no way your body is going to recover with just 2 days. Okay.
All right,
we're going to go down on the field to the sideline guys, Brent and Paul.
Hey, Paul, we just stand here looking at this. This game has sure changed in the 2nd quarter. Kecoughtan's moving that ball at will, pretty much so, because of the ability to do whatever they want to do, pass or throw. And what are you seeing happening to that Hampton defense?
The Hampton defense right now is slacking off a little bit. They're not putting the same type of pressure because they're having to cover just the run and the pass at the same time, whereas before they were backing up and trying to protect against that pass. Right now they're being spread out by a good Kecoughtan offense.
Yeah, let me just end it this way, guys. Down here on the field, you can really hear the pads hitting each other.
Yeah, thank you, Paul and Brent.
Quillen is
on
back.
4th down, and they've got the 1st down. So Kecoughtan rolls the dice and end up getting a 1st down. I'm looking around for a flag because I just wanted to make certain.
No flag, but look at number 1's out there for Hampton.
I see him out there, and you know that's an interesting point. He obviously plays 2 ways. If I'm the coach and he's apparently all right, because if he was hurting, I would not have him playing defense.
Well, let's go back. Iverson played quarterback and safety. Curry played quarterback and safety.
They did?
Tyrod Taylor played quarterback and I mean, you can go right on.
Sure.
A safety is your quarterback on defense.
And this is the keeper by Savage. He is dragged out of bounds after a very short gain. Might not have even gotten much at all. That was Brown on the tackle.
Well, the good thing about that, he went out of bounds, Tim. Stop the clock at 2:56.
Yeah, because Kecoughtan is out of timeouts.
And I guess that was a option of the whole time. He just didn't look like he was running hard.
So no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10. We're under 3 minutes to go in the 1st half. This is Fugate, and he's going to pick up about 3 to the 44-yard line. Is short of the 44.
Well, they don't call that the shotgun when he's in. You know what they call it? They call that the pistol, because he's got a runner behind him that can go to either side. The shotgun is the deep man is the guy that gets the ball.
Good point. 35 years, and you're starting to show some real savvy with this stuff.
Real potential.
I think they're going to keep you around.
Oh, no.
Me, I'm done. Dropped the snap from center, picks it up, and now is going to be swarmed under.
Nowhere to go.
So Savage will now be looking at 4th down at midfield, and I can't imagine they'll go for it at this point.
They got to punt it, but you got to punt it away from Newsom. You can't be kicking it towards Das.
Now, I'm not sure how many timeouts Hampton still has. Looks like they have 2. So with 2 timeouts, I'm wondering if they are thinking about calling a timeout here to keep some time on the clock for them to work on offense. But it looks like they're going to let the clock run, and they're going to let the Warriors actually go for it. They're in formation to go for on 4th down and 12. Over the middle, just short of the intended receiver. He did make the grab, but it was unfortunate for them. It was a one-hopper.
Well, he stumbled, but the pass was a little short too, I believe.
So the Warriors gamble. They give the Crabbers the ball with good field position just on the Crabber side of midfield. There you see Grandy coming back to the sidelines. For the Warriors with no timeouts, Crabbers with 2 and 1 minute and 32 seconds to work with here in the first half. Real quick recap, the Warriors found themselves down by 7 with just 16 seconds gone in the game, with Newsom returning the opening kickoff 86 yards for a touchdown. Bruins came back, got a touchdown.
No, not the Bruins.
I'm sorry, the Bruins. The Warriors, rather, came back, got a touchdown, and then the Crabbers answered with a long 69-yard pass.
And that was a little shuffle pass that time to number 23, Trevon Davis.
Ron Davis, yep. It almost appears that Mike Smith's going to be content with just letting this quarter kind of go by. He didn't drop back to pass the ball. He didn't. He's made no effort to take a timeout. You can see on the screen there's just a little more than a minute as we hit the minute mark. So I'm curious as to whether he's just, saying, hey, let's regroup at halftime, because this has been a well-played ball game from both teams.
It really has, except for the 2 big plays.
Yeah. This is Quillen again, back to pass, has some time. Flag comes down, another flag goes down. Quillen finds some running room, and he is going to go out of bounds with a first down, but we've got 2 yellow hankies on the field.
Yeah, and that's you almost got to guess that's going to be holding.
You got to think it's against the offense because of where the flags went down. But we'll get Mr. Mayhew to tell us. I noticed the officials wearing the pink wristbands tonight.
At holding against the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
Of Breast Cancer Month.
You going from there?
So the holding call will back the Crabbers up with just 49 seconds. Here's the replay. You're going to see Quillen come to the near side as he scrambles, and I didn't have a chance to pick up the holding.
I was looking for it, and I didn't see it.
Doesn't mean it wasn't there. 5 penalties for 48 yards against Hampton, so they've been kind of their own worst enemy here in the first half. And sometimes those penalties really negate big plays, so it's more than just a yardage zip loss.
Well, yeah, that was a first down for him.
Yeah, exactly. Quillen again wants to pass and feels the pressure, comes to the near side. Now he's just going to throw it away, more or less. He had a receiver in the area. Number 24 was out on the pattern. That's Burnell Pulley. But again, good education in the game. He could have stepped out of bounds, but he would have been that much further behind. He could throw the ball to an intended receiver, and it really wasn't going to be, it's either going to be caught by his receiver or out of bounds.
Yep.
Third down and long for the Crabbers, and now Hampton.
You're going to take time out.
I want to, again, we've talked about our football coverage, but
let's talk a little bit about basketball coverage. Well, had some good basketball,
had some great basketball games, and one of the games that I'm going to hone in on was a young lady at Phoebus, Lakeisha Frett, who rewrote the book as far as the record books are concerned. She was number 1 in the state in career number of points scored, 3,290 points. She had 53 points in one game. She averaged 28 points a game for her career, and she was number 1 in rebounds.
Guess where she is now, coaching?
Where's she coaching?
UVA.
Is she? Now, she's not the head coach, but she's assisting.
She's assistant. She was down there at Georgia where she played college ball, and now she's up at UVA.
So Lakeisha Frett, who is certainly one of the most outstanding female athletes this peninsula has ever seen. Third down and 22. Out of the shotgun, Quillen throws, has a man open. He's got it at the 45, out to about the 48. And that's not, of course, going to be enough for a first down as they were 3rd and 22. Nice pickup.
And going down, we may not see another play.
Keyshawn Cook making the grab. And with the clock running now, Hampton will stop it with just 2 seconds remaining, which would give you enough time for a Hail Mary.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, what the heck? So with another timeout, again, let me just finish some of my hard-earned stats that I spent almost 10, 15 minutes working on.
Thank God for the internet.
But Phoebus did, in fact, win. Are you ready for this? I would have never guessed. How many games do you think Phoebus football won consecutively at one point?
Over 40. I don't know, but it was.
But that's good. They won 45.
Okay, I knew it was over 40. That was amazing.
Now, second in the state.
Brain matter.
Second in the state history of AAA, Hampton won 40 consecutive games.
Wow.
I would imagine Ronald Curry might have had something to do with that.
You think he might have?
That might have been from 95, 96, 97, and 98.
He won 3 state champions himself.
Yep. Well, certainly with his team, but yes.
No, yeah.
Quillen is in the open. Will they catch him? No, he will not get in, and the clock will run out. He's out at the 1-yard line. If they, in fact, agree upon that, there's 2 officials there. No, now they say it's a touchdown. Oh, my, oh, my, oh, my. And now the referee's going to come over, and they're going to have a little discussion about that. I would love to see that one again. The referee's saying touchdown. Wow, wow. So Javon Quillen shows what he's got. The 10, the 5, knee is down right there. That's no touchdown, Mr. Official. That knee was down at the 2-yard line. That's 2 somewhat questionable touchdowns. That
that was
wow.
Clearly
that was
not a touchdown.
That's a bad call. That's a bad call. That's right. That's right. I'm leaving on the first plane out of here in the morning.
You can say whatever you want.
I got to tell you something. If Andy can show us that one more time, not that I want to rub it in, the extra point try for 2 is no good. Time ran out as that touchdown was scored. Here's the replay of the touchdown. This is Quillen. Take nothing away from his effort because this was one heck of a run. He is injured just a little while ago. Now, slow that down right there. He is down at the 2-yard line, 1 at worst. Maybe here, let's look at this shot from the sideline. This might tell us even better.
This is Ron ESPN Baton's shot.
He's at the 20. Let's watch where that knee goes down. Down at the 2-yard line. In college ball or pro ball where they have replay, that would not have been a touchdown.
Nope, no way.
But that's neither here nor there.
You're right.
Because the fact of the matter is it's 19-6 at halftime.
Hey guys, this is Brent Paul down here on the field. We don't have the privilege of that instant replay that you have, but we appreciate your call. But, Tim, if you're going to take that plane out in the morning, you might want to book 6 or 7 more seats for some guys down here.
What was your vantage point on that, guys? What did you see? We were about the 20-yard line, and we saw Quillen stick his hand out. And, of course, we're drawn to the arm itself at that time, and we weren't looking at the knees of the legs. So we couldn't tell on that.
Yeah, it was a pile up there. It was kind of like an automobile accident at the piling, and the one official standing there, you couldn't tell if the signal light was working or not. But other than that, the guy came across the field and called it a touchdown. But you guys can see it much better with that TV up there.
Well, he definitely went down. His knee hit before the ball ever got to the 1-yard line. And then he kind of slid into the
Well, let's go back to the game, though. I have to tell you, from the first 6 minutes of the game, of course, we all saw the only thing that happened was that kickoff return by Quillen. And then it was almost like a feeling out for us. And penalties were stopping both teams from any kind of sustained drive. But standing here on this sideline on the Kecoughtan side, Paul and I have been talking, you can see the atmosphere in the Kecoughtan players changing. Yeah, they're down, and they feel like they shouldn't be down like they are. And I don't know if they've got an instant replay screen like you do. However, you can see a different attitude in them from about the last third of the first quarter through the rest of the game. They're moving the ball. Go ahead, Paul.
And they're very confident. Their defense is really playing well. To say well is an understatement, actually. They're playing real well. They are beginning to make adjustments to Quillen, and they're almost after him from the get-go. Hampton tried to counter that by doing some things. We were talking earlier that they never pitched the ball out. Brent mentioned that. And then what? A couple plays later, boom, they begin to pitch it out because that Kecoughtan defense is really solid tonight, doing a good job. But then you had some problems with some penalties.
Yeah.
Well, and then Hampton started moving the ball again.
Yeah, both of these teams have shot themselves in the foot with the penalties, but more so with Kecoughtan than anybody else. Not only the penalties, but you remember the bad snap from center.
Well, and if I could throw this in there too, guys, the other Hampton touchdown on the replay pretty clearly showed that the elbow and forearm was down well short of the goal line when the official, God bless him, fell and probably didn't see the play. So, you got to make a call. And like I said it already, and I'll say it again. These guys, the officials, have the toughest, there you see the very last part of that play, they have the toughest job there is in sports. So I really hesitate to be critical of them, but those two plays looked pretty close.
All right, guys, I enjoyed it. We'll get back with you in the third quarter.
Stay
Thank
with
you.
us. It's a good game.
I want to ask you one thing, Bob. How come all four of us are wearing very gray hair these days? Is that the prerequisite for working with the crew?
Yes, it is, especially after 30-some years.
Well, we've seen a real good ball game. Unfortunately, for the Kecoughtan Warriors, they've had a couple of tough calls, and it's hard to keep your attitude up when you think you've made the play that you did, and it's not validated by the call on the field that appeared to be. But, like I said, it's tough, and these guys are going full speed all the time. But Quillen really did a great job with that last touchdown. He came up injured on a play a little earlier than that. Had to be not helped off the field, but certainly was assisted in leaving the field, and didn't. And I was concerned whether or not we were going to see him some more. But he came back and obviously made that real fine run. So that's going to do it for the first half. We'll be back with the second half of tonight's football game right after this brief timeout.
Anyone familiar with Hampton athletes will recognize names like Allen Iverson, Ronald Curry, Lakeisha Frett, Francina McCrory, Tyrod Taylor, Nikki Reed Geckler, and Jake Cade. These are just some of the people who have gone on to pursue sports professionally and have had success. And by success, that means not only playing in college, but also playing for the NFL, NBA, WNBA, and even winning gold medals in the Olympics.
Standing his own end zone, Hendricks wants to throw. He's got Brown on the pattern, and he leaps for the catch.
Oh, what a grab.
At the 37-yard
We're celebrating 35 years of high school athletics on television, showcasing Hampton City Schools student athletes. The earliest coverage of high school sports were sports reports hosted by A.G. Womble.
For the Hampton City Schools Sports Report, I'm A.G. Womble for Channel 29. Hey!
Dr. Sam Still Jr. was one of the early architects of WHCS. He started sports coverage in the early 80s. Bob Hintz, Tim Cole, and A.G. were the first on-air personalities to cover high school athletics for Hampton City Schools. Scotty Bowers would shoot and edit many of the sports reports. He would become the director of what is now PEG TV. Even back then, Dr. Still, Scotty, Bob, A.G., and Tim saw the importance of showcasing high school sports coverage on television.
A lot of these athletes were superior athletes, and it was a way to highlight their achievements and actually use some of these tapes to get an opportunity for a scholarship to further education and to play in college football later on, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever it might be.
That showcasing continues today with Sports Time, a show where viewers can take a walk down memory lane with host Bob Hintz by getting to know former and current players and coaches. They share their experiences of growing up in Hampton and how their athletics career began. Sports producer Wube Gabre and Bob have produced 250 Sports Time shows. Other shows produced by Peg TV include a special edition of Sports Time at Big Walt's Barbershop, The Journey Tyrod Taylor, and Mike Tomlin's Tailgate Fundraiser at NASCAR Grill. Today, Channel 48, or local sports channel, produces full coverage of games with as many as 7 cameras, instant replay, real-time graphics and animations, field reporters, statisticians, and play-by-play announcers. Initially, football was the first sport covered. As interest grew in sports broadcast, coverage spread to girls and boys basketball, track and field, baseball, softball, field hockey, wrestling, volleyball, tennis, soccer, gymnastics, and swimming. Bob Hintz has been here for all of LSC's sports coverage.
So we didn't have the technology we have today, where we have not only the earphones, you can hear the other guy talk, you can hear the truck talk to you, just that plus slow motion replay and the multi-cameras, because I think we only had 1, maybe 2 cameras, I can't remember, but you know, it was not high tech, but it was fun, we enjoyed it.
Today's production team consists of 4 camera operators, an audio engineer, instant replay operator, camera control unit operator, graphics and animation, and a director. Everyone fills different roles at different times to complete a production. Current on-air personalities include Bob Hintz, Brent Musgrove, Frank Edgar, and Paul Rowe. And Mike Hauser called games for many years, covering a wide range of sports.
The crew was probably the best group of people I've ever known. They worked in the most ridiculously difficult circumstances, rain, snow on occasion, sleet, heat. You know, it didn't matter whether we were doing baseball, football, basketball, soccer. They were always there, and they gave it 100% as if they were being paid big time, and most of the time a lot of these people were just volunteering their time.
It gives me so much pleasure to do this. It's to not only see the athletes, but to work with the coaches, to work with the athletic directors, to work with the principals. They all are very supportive of what we do, and it makes you feel like you're doing something for the community. And I know the community that watches this channel, and it's amazing how many people watch this channel that just reach out to us. Every now and then we walk through a store, you're walking down the street, or you're in a restaurant, and they'll come up and say, "Oh, I love your show. I watched it the other night," or just, they've always got a comment, and it's always positive. So the feedback that you get, the camaraderie you get to have with the coaches and the staffs at the school is tremendous.
Now, anyone can watch a game from the mid-'80s to the present on Cox Cable Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23. In the past few years, games have been made available on YouTube in high-definition television. You can also contact Peg TV to purchase a DVD copy of a game. You can follow many of Hampton City Schools alumni on television or the internet as they continue to pursue their professional sports career on the national stage. To keep up with current HCS athletes who are just beginning to carve out his or her own legacy, keep watching Peg TV. You never know who you'll see heading to the national stage next.
Back here at Darling Stadium, as halftime is coming to conclusion, we're going to look at some highlights from the first half, Bob.
We've got the Crabbers up 19-6 right now with 2, questionable touchdowns, but great highlights.
Let's take the first highlight we've got for you is just the very tail end of the touchdown on the opening kickoff, which really put Kecoughtan in the hole early, 16 seconds into the game. Here's a replay of some of the fine running efforts after the catch by Grandy. Picked up a first down for the Warriors. On this play, Quillen is just stormed under by the Hampton.
Savage. Savage is stormed.
I'm sorry, Savage. I said Quillen, sorry. Savage completed the pass to Grandy, and Grandy scored the only Kecoughtan touchdown. The extra point was blocked. Here's a pitch to the near side. Again, a very fine defensive play by the Warriors. That was Caleb Tucker on the defense. Here's Quillen throwing deep. And this is the touchdown that may or may not have been called correctly. Watch his forearm down right there. Forearm down, and he walks in, and unfortunately you see the official down as well, and he just didn't have an opportunity to see a good call.
He saw him go into the end zone.
But it did appear that his forearm touched, and that's the same thing as being down with your knee or any. There's certain parts of your body that don't cause you to be called down, but that is one of them. Here's Quillen on the touchdown, or excuse me, this is not the touchdown. This is a play that ultimately got called back. It was a first down for Quillen, but a flag on holding caused that to come back. This should be the final play of the first half. And again, Quillen appears from this angle to be down right there and then reaches over the goal line, which should, by rule, not have been a touchdown. And of course, with no time on the clock, they wouldn't have had a chance to run another play.
Right. And they don't have replay in high school, so you got the call on the field is what it is.
And I've said this, I've been critical of the officials in the sense that I wanted them to have it right, but they do a great job, and I don't want their jobs addressed. Here you see the first downs, Crabbers with 4, Warriors with 5. 87 yards, so the Warriors sticking right with them as far as the first downs are concerned, but then the total yardage to the Crabbers up by an extra 50 yards, no interceptions, no fumbles, but penalties did hurt both teams in the first half.
Really did, and at crucial times, it seemed like.
Well, you know, I don't think there's a coach in the world who will tell you there's a good time for a penalty to be called. But there are more important times when obviously you've got a third down and you have a penalty. It makes you third down and extra long.
Or bring you back from a touchdown.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're about set to go. Kecoughtan will have the ball to start the second half. And I'm sure they would like to very much. Fugate is going to be one of the deep men. And that is Grandy with the kickoff. Out to close to the 30-yard line before he's tripped up. So the Crabbers on defense leading by 13 points here as we start the third quarter. Again, 12-minute quarters in high school football. Crabbers the Warriors get the ball at the 29-yard line.
We couldn't ask for a nicer night as far as temperature and everything. This is ideal tonight.
And you know, one of the things I want to say is the crew, which do a great job. You already mentioned their names, and we can't mention them enough. These are the conditions they like.
Yeah.
After this play, I'm going to tell you about some of the conditions they don't like. Breaking into the open for a first down out to the 45-yard line. Fugate is tearing them up here to start the second half. The conditions, we were over in a game on the south side when Phoebus played a game, and you and I, we actually had the crew go out and see if they could find some place to buy gloves and a heater. And we were in a wide open booth that was probably built 30 years before we were there.
It was wood, and it was just everything in the middle of it was nothing.
Well, I'll get to that one in a minute. Out to gain of 4. Fugate before that carry, 10 carries, 63 yards for the Warriors. No, the game in Richmond, which you know, is in my mind will always be one of the greatest games I've ever seen a team play in adverse conditions. And then, of course, there was the Frozen Bowl when Bethel played in Richmond, too. So we've had a couple of games like that. And then rain. Oh, my gosh. So
I remember one year we did the games, and Nathaniel Braxton was one of our camera people. it rained every Friday night. And then we had a game on a Saturday. It rained on Saturday, but not Friday.
I remember that well. The first down is just short of being gained on that play. It was knocked out of bounds at the 45. They need to get to the 44. So Kecoughtan will be looking at a 3rd down and 1 to go as they are trailing by 13.
Well, they want to make a statement here early in the second half, Tim. They'd love to go down and make a score right at the beginning of this third quarter.
And that's going to be short of the first down, according to the side judge.
He didn't even get to the 45-yard line. And what happened that time, he got to thinking east and west and north and south. You got to pick up the first down. That's the number one thing. You're
That's
not looking to block it.
Very good point, because when you just need that, when you just need 1 yard, you need to be going north and south.
Absolutely.
And that hurt them, that play.
And as a kid running the ball, you think, oh, man, I'll be able to get outside or make a big gain.
You like to hope so. 4th down, and they are going for it. And it is going to be real close because they needed to get to the 44, so the mark is going to be crucial here.
Just moved it back a little bit. I don't think they got it.
Well, if that's the final spot, let's see here. Eagle Eye is going to have to hone it and get the official to, there we go. He did not make it. That is going to be short by about the length of the football. I got a little assister on this beautiful high def.
Well, Mayhew is smart in bringing the chains in.
Oh, yeah, but that was a 4th down. So if this is not a first down, Hampton's going to have it in great field position just shy of their 45-yard line. Let's see. They're going to stretch the chains out, and it's going to be short by 2 football lengths.
And that's the reason why you go north and south. Both times you could have maybe picked it up the second time. But, you know, we're sitting up here. We can say, you know, what he should have done. Hey, these are just high school kids.
Well, and, you know, he was trying to make a play. You know, you've got to do that. When you're down by 13 points, you've got to make some plays. And if they got a first down, it was a whole different scenario. Now the Crabbers have the ball at their 44, and they're in pretty good field position. And, of course, Quillen, with that great run at the end of the first half, is back at quarterback, having been shaken up in the second quarter, but he looks to be none the worse for wear. Flag goes down. Quillen's got a man deep, and he just didn't quite connect with him, but we do have a penalty flag on the field.
That was Daz Newsom, his favorite receiver, number 5. And Daz is just a junior. He'll be back next year. And Mr. Quillen is accepted scholarship to Virginia Tech.
Has he?
Yes.
Oh, I like that. I'm a big Virginia Tech fan, so I'll get a chance to see him play, I hope. So the illegal procedure call is the indication, and it looks like they're going to take the penalty.
Yeah. They didn't have 7 players on the line of scrimmage, and that's why the flag came out right away.
You know, we talk about all the great athletes that have been through the peninsula, and Tyrod Taylor certainly comes to mind these days as starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, having played his career here, and then ultimately played at Virginia Tech. Back to the line of scrimmage, not much more than that. One of the Hampton Crabbers comes up hobbling. That's one of the linemen. Let me see if I can pick up his number. That is 65.
65, big kid.
That is Jalon Powell.
6'3", 275, Tim.
Hasn't missed too many meals.
No, just a junior.
So it's 2nd down and 14 to go. Quillen wants to throw, does so, incomplete, high over the head of his intended receiver on the far sideline. That is his wide receiver, number 84, Keyshawn Cook. And I'm going to do my usual disclaimer.
Okay.
As I had to do throughout our many, many games we've done. If I've mispronounced the players' names, I apologize. We do the best we can. We don't necessarily have phonetic spelling on the name, so I apologize up front to you young men if I mispronounce any of the names. Well, that's okay. These guys, Mr. Mills, no, they don't. Quillen. Quillen completes the pass. It's a foot race, and it's a touchdown for the Hampton Crabbers. 59 yards.
And number 24 for the Crabbers.
That's Pulley.
He's just a junior, 5'10", 180.
That was a pinpoint pass
Yes, it
from
was.
Jovan Quillen.
But
Quillen,
a great pattern.
Absolutely, and in full stride. Didn't have to break stride at all, and we'll hopefully get a chance to watch that again. But we'll wait and see. The Crabbers had an extra point blocked, and so they have actually had two. All right, there's a timeout on the field, so we're going to replay that touchdown pass from Quillen. Ball was at the 41-yard line, and he threw it on the target, a foot race. And Pulley was just too fast as he scores from 59 yards out. 58 seconds, 4 plays, 56 yards for the play. And go ahead, guys, Paul and Brent.
Paul, that was just amazing. Guys, you get a good screen up there, but down here on this sideline, to get to see that play develop, we were right in the running line of the receiver. And it was amazing. Bob, it reminded us so much of who that we used to watch do that play last year.
Nick Carrera from Savage
I like
on Kecoughtan's team.
Thumbs up, yeah.
It was the same slant play, and I mean, it was right in stride down here. It was amazing. And I have to say this, we're standing behind the Kecoughtan bench, and you could almost see the shoulders just kind of drop just a little bit. So we'll send that back up to you guys.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. So the Crabbers come out to try a 2-point conversion. Apparently the kicking game not the favorite at this point of Mike Smith. The snap goes to Quillen. They have a reverse coming this way. Nice block to spring him. A flag goes down. He's in the end zone, but a flag from the official who's indicating that the extra point was good.
Let me tell you a little bit about the beginning of the season for Hampton. Did not have a kicker. They were kicking off. It was going maybe 20 yards. Nobody kicked an extra point that went by 2 every time. They got Jesus.
So that nice block, by the way, I don't mean to interrupt you, but the nice block turned out to be an illegal block.
But it was a nice block.
Oh, he did a. If we have that on the replay, you'd see that it was the block sprung the runner for the 2-point conversion, but the block was ruled to be a block in the back. So the Warriors benefit from that, and they're going to back up the Crabbers 15 yards. Quillen for the game, by the way, 5 out of 8 for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns. So he's had a real fine evening. So here's the 2-point conversion, which is going to be from the 18-yard line. This is a little more difficult. Quillen wants to pass, sees some running room. Now he's going to throw the ball deep in the end zone, and is going to be incomplete.
It was out of the end zone, even if he'd have caught it.
Yeah, that was Newsom, who's, as you've mentioned already, is his favorite receiver so far in the ballgame, although he's got to be kind of happy Mr. Pulley was in the position he was on a touchdown play as well. That was Burnell Pulley with the touchdown. There you see our Susan Bowers, our camera person. And I want to say, while we have the moment with Susan and our screen, I want to say how sad I was to hear about Scotty's passing not long ago, and what a great guy he was, and he really gave his all to this coverage, and was a super guy.
Super guy. Well,
do you remember we had a little learning curve when we did that game over at Bethel High School, and we had a camera on each side of the stadium, each side of the
first basketball game. Yeah.
And we had a camera on each side of the stands rather than all from one vantage point. And you couldn't keep up with which team was going in which direction.
We quickly figured that out.
Good picture of the crowd, a short sleeve crowd. That's right. Back to the live action now. Kickoff taken at the 12-yard line, still going out to the 30-yard line. Ball comes loose, and it appears to be picked up by one of the Warriors, but I think they're going to say the runner was down, and that's Grandy again, who has been all over the field tonight. So the scoring, I'm sorry, go ahead.
We are going to pick a player of the game from both these teams tonight, and that player will receive a shirt. Shirt comes from Tidewater Team Sports. They get screen printing, apparel, embroidering, team uniforms, you name it. They've got to give them a call, 594-0411. Tidewater Team Sports, David Chubb, Terry McNamara.
Okay, so the play was dead when the young man who returned the kick went down, so there was no fumble on the play, although I believe it was recovered by the Warriors anyway. This is Savage throwing the ball basically in the general vicinity of a receiver, which may or may not save him from the grounding call.
There was a player in the vicinity, so that's what they're talking about right now.
And he was out of the pocket, so.
Yeah, but that doesn't make any difference in high school.
That's true. But the scoring plays have all been big plays tonight. 59-yard pass, a 69-yard pass, a 52-yard run, and an 86-yard kickoff return. So wow. The Warrior defense has played really well, except for some big plays. And, of course, that's a big if. Over the middle, screen pass. And that's out close to a first down. It looks like it's going to be a little short. That's Tyler Christ.
Yeah, they're going to spot that maybe a yard short.
Got to get to the 41 and got to the 40, so that'll bring up a third down.
Third down.
Third down? Let's see. Flip the card over there. Yep, third down and 1. Clock moving here in the third quarter. Tim Cole with Bob Hintz and our crew here at Darling Stadium. This game on the 9th of October, 2015. Hope you're enjoying the coverage. We're having a good time bringing it to you. Up the middle for the first down. So the Warriors continue to have success moving the ball. They've just unfortunately given up some big plays that have really hurt them.
It's hard to rebound after you have all of the plays like this. The touchdown, kickoff return, the long passes, the long run by Quillen. Those are just hard to overcome because you're a grinding team.
Right. This is Grandy again, I believe, on the left side. Little or no gain on the play.
It might have been Fugate.
I believe you're right. It was Fugate. 5 and 4. Hard to read numerals. You know, we were talking about our history of doing games and stuff. Some really excitement. Did you know? You remember the Hampton girls won the state championship in 2001 and again in 2007. Right. Phoebus girls, 1992, with Lakeisha Frett running the show. So some great high school sports here, brought to you by LCS.
Local
LSC.
Sports Channel.
LSC. Picked it up and just barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Or WHCS, which is what I've got embedded in my feeble brain. Also, talking about championships, basketball, Hampton, 1989, 1997, and 2012. State champions in basketball.
Walter Brower, over 500 wins.
There you go. And the Bethel boys team, again, led by Allen Iverson, 1993 state champions. So there's been a lot of very positive things come out of the Peninsula District over the years, that's for sure.
When you talk about Iverson and basketball, you got to talk about Tony Rutland.
Oh, absolutely.
Those were the two guys. They were the ones that did everything for the Bethel. They had a great supporting cast, but those were the two go-to guys.
So another first down by the Warriors, who by no means have given up on this game, even though they now trail 25-6. But they are playing just as hard as if this was a 10-10 ball game. Again, Savage out of the pistol. And we got a early movement. Looks like the left end decided to leave a minute, or rather a second, too soon. So that'll cost the Warriors 5. Makes it 1st and 15. You know, Hampton, by the way, has won 17 state championships if you go all the way back to 1937, when it was, you know, the Eastern District rather than the Peninsula District. Used to play teams like Maury and Princess Anne, and still going all the way down inside the 30-yard line to the 29. Kecoughtan with another first down.
Fugate again. He can bust it.
No, that's Grandy, actually.
Yeah,
Grandy comes up a little hobbled. I don't know whether that's an injury or perhaps cramping. It's not that warm, but he's come off with a limp, and hopefully for Kecoughtan's successes down the road, it will just be something he can shake off. Here's the replay from the ground level. This is Grandy, and he made some nice moves there, and then when he got through trying to get up, had a limp back to the sideline. Back to the live action. Kecoughtan moving the ball, taking no real break and taking a lot of time between plays because they ran that one real quickly and picked up 7.
Well, and you might catch the defense getting a little tired out there.
Well, again, you know, I don't want to belabor the point, but Hampton played 2 nights ago. They played on Tuesday night. Well, they had Wednesday and Thursday, but this is the 3rd night, but they didn't have anywhere near the normal time to prepare for the game or to recover from the Bethel game. That is going to be close to a first down, depending on the mark. He got right to the 20. And they mark it exactly on the 20-yard line, so that'll mean it's going to be 3rd down and less than a yard to go. They need to cross the 20 and then some. So 3rd down, and I would guess at this point, I don't want to get ahead of myself as we see some of the sideline activities, people having a good time. I think they would probably go for it if they don't get the first down on this play. But they've been moving the ball well. Savage has a man in motion. That's Grandy. He wants to throw the ball. Now he's looking downfield, got a man wide open, and did he catch it at the 10? He
yes,
did.
He did.
Yep, first down just at the 10-yard line. Wow. So Grandy, once again, he's just played an outstanding ball game. He's the one that limped off a minute ago, and then he's on the receiving end of the pass. Cheerleaders having a good time here on homecoming night at Darling Stadium. Watch as Savage thought about running, then he realized he had a man wide open, and a great effort by Grandy to make sure that ball was a catch. So it's 1st and goal at the 10. Savage in the end zone, touchdown!
Wow, what a catch.
That is number 17. We haven't called his name tonight. As Isaiah Sellers.
He just snatched that ball out of the air. What a great job.
So if anyone thought that the Warriors were just going to go home and give up on this game, they were dead wrong, because the Warriors took that and went right down the field, and the Hampton Crabber defense looks a little bit tired right now.
Yeah, they really do.
And now we got a flag before the extra point try. We have a substitution infraction, perhaps?
Off defense, you line up in the neutral zone.
Oh, okay.
And do that.
Well, they'll measure half the distance. So instead of from the 2, they'll go to the 1. You know, you might wonder about a 2-point try here, but it looks like they're going to stay with the kick. They've already had 1 blocked.
That's true. Both teams have had 1 block.
Yep. This kick is long enough. It's up and it's no good. So wide to the left. And so the kicking game has been suspect for both teams tonight. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but finish your thought, if you will, about having Hampton didn't have a kicker. And then this young man came in and has been doing.
Before school started. And they had a couple games before the school started. And Hampton played, if we watch the replay, Hampton played Woodside, which has got a great team. Woodside scored the first time they had the ball. Hampton's behind. All of a sudden, Ham starts winning. Next thing you know, 2-point conversion. 2-point conversion. They had like 4 or 5 2-point conversion. No kick. Nobody could kick off with any consistency. And then all of a sudden, Jesus goes up. And I don't know when school started. I don't know if they went to the soccer coach or what happened, but he's well liked, and they really appreciate his showing up.
Well, you know, we've heard a story like that before of going to the soccer team to get some kickers. I can't remember the particulars, but Kecoughtan's drive was 8 plays, 4:58 in time, and covered 69 yards, with the finale of that a 10-yard pass to Isaiah Sellers from Desmond Savage.
Well, last few years, Hampton had a young man by the name of Bo Lomax. Now, Bo was a soccer player, and he loved soccer. But he ended up winning a game against Kecoughtan with 4 seconds left.
So he was the young man that did it last year.
Yeah.
So the Crabbers take the short kickoff and take it out to the 41-yard line. Well, they have real nice field position, and they now need to get some momentum back, because the Warriors have had the majority of the momentum here, with the exception of the touchdown in the third quarter. Kecoughtan certainly controlled the ball, and I guarantee you Mike Smith would like to have his defense have a little break on the sidelines.
Absolutely.
Having played, you know, with just 3 days rest between games. Of course, remember, these guys are just kids, you know. I remember when I used to stay out all night and go to work. I wasn't worth anything. No. Kecoughtan's Savage passing, 11 for 17 and 119 yards. So
that was Fugate.
Done pretty well.
Fugate on that tackle that time, and he was zeroed in on Jovan Quillen.
And no gain on that play, so it brings up 2nd and 10.
I bet you cannot guess Jovan Quillen's nickname. Mike Smith loves it.
JQ.
How about Bubba?
Bubba. All right.
And that's what Mike talks about him. He talks about Bubba.
This is Quillen again. Evades one tackler. Coming to the near side. Flag is down on the play, and he's pushed out of bounds after he crosses midfield. But there was a penalty flag back at around the 45-yard line. So we'll see if it's holding or illegal block or what exactly it was. I think they're going to bring it back.
Well, it's called holding. That's preliminary signal from Mayhew.
I don't know if anyone has picked up on this, but the 50-yard marker is in pink tonight.
I saw that when I was out there.
And, of course, in the establishment of the fact that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. By the way, that was the 8th penalty against the Crabbers for 68 yards. So Mike Smith won't be happy with that statistic. So that brings the ball back after what appeared to be close to a first down. They'll have to do it again. This time it's going to be 2nd down and about 20 some odd. And Quillen is sacked.
Well, I tell you, I don't know who got the first, but he did a great job of getting around the defensive tackle.
See if we can see on the replay who that was. I was kind of looking at something else at that particular moment.
I think it was a defensive end. Watch this thing. Watch him right here.
That's number 3.
Right there. No, not number 3. It's the other one. The inside.
Oh, the other defensive.
Yeah. Man did a great job of just getting by that blocker.
Well, let's give credit to number 56 for the Warriors. That is Tim Sanderlin. Crabbers back to the live action. Quillen wants to throw, has a man open, overthrows the intended receiver at the 30-yard line. So that'll bring up a 4th down. 4th and a ton. Let's see, 10,
31,
20, 31. Wow.
I cheated. I looked at the scoreboard.
He sure did. Our graphics guy did a good job of getting the calculation of the distance.
Well, you and I knew his dad right well, David Buckwalter. He used to do the plaques for the player of the game, owned DC Engraving.
Warriors trying to make something happen on the punt return, get the ball out close to midfield. So once again, they will have good field position. Each team still has their full complement of, take that back. Hampton has 2 timeouts remaining. Kecoughtan has 3. But again, good starting field position for the Warriors at the 47-yard line.
Well, their defense really has done well, except for the 2 or 3 big plays.
Yep. And that's been their real downfall tonight. It's almost historic of what they've had this year. They've had close games. They've been in the game, like you said in your interview with Coach Coley. They could be 5-0 instead of 2-3. Just a couple of breaks here and there, and they certainly haven't gotten many breaks tonight.
And Mike Smith said that himself during the interview with him, that they are a much better team than a 3-2 team.
Yep. Of course, Mike is always rather gracious about his opponent. You know, he's not one to stand out there and say, well, we're going to beat the tar out of these guys tonight. You know, it's politically incorrect to do that.
Yeah.
That was number 13 carrying the ball for the Warriors, and that is DeQuandra Edwards. The pile is pushing the ball what appears to be a forward progress, which will give the Warriors another first down. Again, we'll wait for the spot, but that one is going to be a first down, so they'll move the chains. Well, maybe a little premature, but now they do a signal first down.
We got to wait for Mr. Mayhew to give us the heads up. Now it's ready to go.
The official. So again, the Warriors with the ball and driving. Trailing 25-12, but no give up in this team. Randy on the handoff picks up a couple of tough yards. That was Edwards, excuse me. Do they have glasses that you can get that have binoculars as part of their feature? Would that help me do these games if they did?
Well, I don't know. they got them to help you read. Why do they have them that you flip a little button?
Right. Yes. Fugate is on the bench, by the way. So while this Kecoughtan team is moving the ball, Fugate, one of their big offensive components, is on the bench. Now, I don't know whether he's hurt or what, but see if we can spot him.
Well, you just might have come up with ideas that would give you a tremendous retirement if you could come up with how to develop that eye thing.
Look out, Shark Tank, right?
There you go.
Yeah. I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately. But I do have a great retirement working anyway.
Oh, well, there you go. I was just going to help you get more.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's never enough. Time winding down here in the third quarter now. As you see on the screen, 17 seconds left in the third quarter. Kecoughtan with a third down and 9. Up the middle. This is going to be another Kecoughtan first down. All the way to the 25-yard line. 26-yard line is where they'll mark it. But again, they've been blowing holes. That's Edwards again, DeQuandre Edwards, who's taken over in the ball game for Fugate.
I'm trying to see Fugate on the sideline, and I cannot find him. He's number 5. I'm looking around, and I can't find him. Maybe one of our sideline guys can find out what's going on.
So that is the end of the third quarter. So a couple of touchdowns for each team here in the third quarter. The Crabbers led 19-6 after the first half. Yeah, let's see if we can get a chance to have a little back and forth with Paul and Brent down on the sideline. Gentlemen, we go into the fourth quarter, and Kecoughtan has really done well on offense here. They've only given up the big plays. What do you see on the sideline?
We're seeing a Kecoughtan offense that's really mixing it up and a tired Hampton defense that is allowing the runs in the middle, on the outside edge, and then giving up the short, quick passes that they're so good at. And that wore down the Hampton defense and allowed Kecoughtan to come down here and score.
I don't know if you guys can see us or not, but we've been over here on the Hampton side for the last 10 minutes or so, right behind the bench.
We do see it.
And it's quiet. It's a little tense over here behind the bench. It's not, everybody's just paying attention. I don't know how else to say it, but you can see there's a little bit of worry on the face right now. Kecoughtan is taking over this game, what we can see down here.
If you guys get a chance, check the bench over there. We want to see if Fugate is hurt.
Well, they're on the Hampton side now, Steve.
I know, but when you come back around.
Yeah, we'll take a look.
We'll double check that for you, yeah.
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen.
At the Hampton 25-yard line.
Oh, Fugate's back in.
On the ground.
It looked like Fugate.
Okay, so he might have just needed a breather. You know, again, these guys have been playing hard, and he's been an integral part of their offense, and that is Fugate number 5.
The other young man was picking up good yardage. You don't take him out if he's doing a good job.
That's always a hard thing to do. Here you see the replay from the ground level. Ron ESPN Baton with the camera work.
No, that's Steve Fry down at that end.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I see now. Ron's up the other end. Sorry, but I gave you credit there, Ron. Prior to that carry, Fugate had carried the ball 15 times for 82 yards. Ball comes loose, but it's after. So there's no completed play there. The ball coming incomplete. 11:14 to go. Edwards, DeQuandre Edwards, who's kind of taken over for Fugate in some instances, he's got 9 carries for 36 yards. So he's picking up about 4 yards every time he carries the ball. 3rd down and a long 7 for the Warriors. Again, perhaps in 4-down territory.
Oh, I would think so.
And this is Grandy. He's up the middle, and he is very close to the 1st down. So you have to have how his forward progress is marked. It looks like he's going to be about a yard short. And that hasn't stopped Kecoughtan from going for it on 4th down previously.
That's going to be a long yard, Tim.
Yeah.
That's almost 2 yards.
Yep. But quite frankly, in order to really stay in this ball game, since we're now in the 4th quarter, they really have to keep the ball at this point and hopefully get the 1st down. Savage drops back, throws. Man open, drops the ball. Dropped it at the 1st down marker. He did what every football player has probably done in their career. He looked downfield before he put the ball away.
Yep. When you see it in the pros, you see it in the college ranks. It's just you're looking to make the play.
Sure, absolutely. And he was right at the 1st down marker. He needed to get about a yard after he made the catch. And in his efforts to make sure he knew where he was, he might have momentarily taken his eye off the ball. So the Crabbers dodge a bullet here. They get the ball at their 18-yard line, but they've not been very effective on offense here in the 2nd half. This is a good running play. He breaks into the open. The Warriors bring him down, but not until he gets to midfield. That is number 32 for the Crabbers, Traquan Smith, who's had a good night. This is just kind of a quick hitter up the middle, and he breaks a couple of tackles, gets into the open, and fortunately for the Kecoughtan Warriors, Goldie Clinton, number 9, was able to drag him down to prevent the long run. So we appreciate Paul and Brent trying to find out for us, but Fugate is back in the game, so we appreciate you looking out for us, guys. This is Quillen, play action, looking downfield. Good coverage by the Warriors, and the ball is just overthrown. So that ball thrown. Yeah, sure, go ahead, Brent.
He had a little ankle tweak. He was trying to get it squared away. I think he's got it worked out now, but that's what they were saying. They were working on his ankle a little bit.
Thanks, sir. So that ball was thrown from the 40 all the way down to the goal line. So needless to say, Mr. Quillen has quite the arm.
He's got a great arm.
And he, in fact, even overthrew the receiver. Got a holding call against the Warriors, I'm told. So this is going to be a big play for the Kecoughtan team to have given up what will be a first down. Referee Mayhew indicates holding. They'll move the chains down to just inside the 40 at about the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for Hampton.
I think that's the first time we've had an defensive holding tonight.
Another nice run, close to enough for another first down.
That's just a quick hitter with the fullback. Normally the fullback is the blocker, but they did a great job that time going straight in.
Traquan Smith has really hurt the Warriors with his running, and it's just, as you said, it's north-south power moves. You know, quick hit, try to break into the open, which he did previously. Smith's got 6 carries now for a total of 52 yards. Hampton staying on the ground, undoubtedly would like to wear some time off that clock. It will stop momentarily for the resetting of the chains as he picked up enough for the first down. But a flag down. So a late flag. It's been kind of flaggy out there today, you know.
And the flaggy?
Kind of flaggy. Got a face mask call against the Warriors. So a couple of bad penalties here against Kecoughtan, a holding call, and now follows up with a face mask call. So you know, right now the penalties are hurting Kecoughtan big time. You know, your defense is trying to stop one of the best offenses on the Peninsula District.
Face mask against the defense. We'll go
and
half the
that's a
distance
big
to
one.
the
That's
goal.
a 15-yarder. I don't know if Andy can hear it or not, but the sideline people got their mic hot.
As long as they don't make some remarks we can't take care of later.
There you go. And edit.
6 penalties now for the Warriors, 58 yards, but more importantly, they are keeping the drive for the Crabbers alive, and now they're threatening as they're inside the 20-yard line. This is Quillen looking, throwing in the end zone, got a man open. No good. So the official says, nope, the ball ended up on the ground. So what appeared to be a perfect play in the corner of the end zone turns up to be an incomplete pass. Here's your replay. Quillen with some play action. He kind of lofts that ball up there. Looked like, well, it would have been close anyway. He was right on the line.
He was right on the line, but that was a nice touch on that pass.
And that's tough when you're a right-hander running to your left, as we've talked about often. So the Crabbers, 2nd down and 10. Now a official's timeout. Let's see what this is about. Referee Mayhew is going to signal a stoppage of play. We're still not quite sure what the call is. Now they're talking to the line judge back in the corner. We'll just wait and see what Mr. Mayhew has to say.
Would the clock operator please put 8 minutes and 20 seconds on the game clock?
Okay, so they actually decided to put some time back on the clock. Look at Matt. He put that 8:03 right back up to 8:20 like a flash. I tell you, the technology has come a little ways since you and I first did some games. You know, I was reminiscing.
Well, we didn't have anything on the screen, if you remember.
I do remember. And we had a band playing in front of us when the old home side was across the field in the old Darling Stadium.
Oh, man.
We had, what was it? Was it the Bethel band?
Bethel band, the drummers were right underneath us.
And he didn't stop playing all night. He must have been told, look, you're going to get paid for all the time you drum. So he said, okay.
They did those drums all night long. Couldn't hear a word you said.
I almost had to take up sign language during that game. You know,
prior to the delay of game, we have timeout by Hampton.
So Hampton, prior to a delay of game, as you may have heard referee Mayhew say, called timeout to preserve the field position. But yeah, you know, I go back a little ways too, Bob. I remember when Thorpe Junior High School was where the cars park now, and fans used to sit up in the upper floors of Thorpe during the game and watch the games from the end zone. But I remember these stands made out of concrete, I think they were.
I don't know what they were, but they were hard.
And this near side where the home field is now was maybe 10, 12 rows. It was the visitor side.
Just the old movable bleachers.
Right. But yeah, that was way back when. Of course, I probably.
You went to Hampton.
Well, I did. I went to Hampton back in '60.
Well, I knew it was somewhere around there. I was just.
No, I was in the class of '64. This is Smith again, and he drives the ball all the way down inside the 10 to about the 7, depending on where they mark his forward progress before his knee went down. Somewhere between the 6 and the 7. Third down, a crucial third down as you look at the sideline of the Kecoughtan Warrior team. Nobody's sitting down on the bench during this game.
No, they're not.
So this is the big play here, and again, it could very well be 4-down territory, as I don't think Hampton has a great deal of confidence in their field goal kicking.
Well, he's new to the whole process.
Hampton hopes to make that point moot, and Quillen is still on his feet, and
I think he got the first down.
Well, I think he got the first down. I was waiting for a touchdown signal because he was very close. So it is 1st and goal. He did get stopped short of the goal line, but did pick up a first down. So the Crabbers will now be 1st and goal at the 2. Clock very much in the favor of Hampton right now, as it's down to 7:25 in the 4th quarter. With the out-of-bounds play, it won't restart until the ball is snapped.
This will be a big touchdown here.
And they did not get in, not at least the initial indication of the stoppage at the 1.
The lineman got in.
Yeah.
The ball player, the ball carrier, was stopped by the defense. The Warriors, they have played, I think, exceptional defense tonight. Those big plays just killed them.
Well, I think Alonzo Coley has done an excellent job over Kecoughtan, and he's really got this team playing well. Like you said, except for a couple of big plays, they'd be right in this ballgame. They're only down by 13 as it is, but I mean, that's the difference in the ballgame. So
yeah, it is.
The big plays. Kecoughtan's been far more effective in the overall offense. So the clock is stopped with a timeout called by Hampton. You know, stopping them on that 1st and goal is a good thing and a bad thing, because now not getting in, although the timeout now will stop the clock, but that was time that would continue to move off the clock. If you're Kecoughtan, you almost want them to score if they're going to inevitably score.
So we get the ball back,
yeah.
But Hampton has used their last time out.
And Kecoughtan has all 3 of theirs remaining, so that, of course, is something that they'll be very in need of as they continue to try to get back in this one.
They got 2nd and goal with 2nd and 1. And Hampton's
nice shot.
They've got 3 tries. That's Mr. Baton.
No, actually, that's down at the other end.
Oh, it is? Sure is. Sorry, Steve.
See? No indication yet. Waiting to see a couple of hands go up in the air. And apparently they stopped him short again, basically about a foot away from the goal line. So once again, good and bad. Clock is moving with 6:14, and it's continued to march on. Another 25, 35 seconds going to roll off that clock. And as you said, Kecoughtan is not a big play team. They're a grinder team, so this plays against their normal offensive capacity. And a fumble, the ball is loose. It looks like Kecoughtan might have gotten it. Wait and see, they did. So a great goal line stand by the Warriors. kept him out of the end zone twice, and on the third attempt, caused the fumble and got the ball back. So there's still life on the Kecoughtan sidelines. These guys have played really well tonight.
That is the first turnover of this game.
I believe you are correct. So a little less than 6 minutes to go. Kecoughtan with a long ways to go to get at least one of the 2 touchdowns they have to have. It's a tough task, but they've been resilient so far tonight. Savage under center. Quick handoff up the middle for a few yards. They really need some breathing room as much as anything. Well, that was Fugate.
He picked up like about 5 yards.
Yeah, because it was right around the 2 or 3 yard line where the fumble was recovered.
Well, actually, it looks like about 3.
Yeah. So second down for the Warriors. This time he's in the pistol, as you alertly corrected me to the point. And this is a good run out across the 10, close to a first down.
Fugate again, and if he can pop through there, it'll be a foot race. He's got some good speed.
So now we got another flag on the play out. There's a timeout is being called by the officials. So I think that what they're going to do is measure because it's that close.
That's the tax man.
Time out for a measurement.
That's the school board chair, Martha Mugler. I'm thinking maybe.
That's her husband, the commissioner.
Okay. I wonder if they're related by any chance to a Mugler family that might have been in Phoebus at some time.
I think they are.
That's a very well-known name in the Phoebus community of Hampton, that's for sure. Used to buy some of my tents from Muglers. When I was buying my tents by Omar, Mugler carried that brand.
Omar the tent guy?
Omar the tent man. Third down and less than a yard for the Kecoughtan Warriors. And they go flag down, and I think what happened, I saw what happened this time. The man in motion appeared to start downfield before the ball was snapped, which is a big no-no. I don't believe they got the first down regardless. So if that's the case, Kecoughtan might be in the fourth down situation. You don't know whether Hampton might take the penalty.
I think they're going to take the penalty. I really do. Illegal motion, which is what you said. He did go towards the line of scrimmage, but you got to make them go 6 yards.
Yeah. Well, but if you don't take the penalty, it's fourth down. So then you're in a precarious situation. Yeah, I understand.
Illegal motion by the offense, 5 yard penalty from the previous
which
spot.
is what we called it.
Replay the down.
Man in motion started down. Now, if you're playing in Canada, that's okay. But we're not in Canada.
And you would have 12 men on.
That's right. Or if you were playing, what's that, indoor football? No, indoor football. The
arena.
Arena football. You can have a man going in motion forward. And a man open and completes it at the 21-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down.
He may not have thrown that pass. A fourth down if he didn't have that much distance to go.
Second half has really been a boogaboo on the penalty situation. 4 penalties for 35 yards against Kecoughtan.
Wow.
But a first down nonetheless on that last play. Good block after the catch was made. And a gain out to about the 27-yard line. But unfortunately for Kecoughtan, as we've, again, without being terribly redundant, they're a grinder team. I haven't really seen them throw the ball much further than maybe 15 or 20 yards, and those passes have been, unsuccessful. So they're hurry-up offense now. Quick pass, right side, completes the ball, out of bounds, stops the clock. A late flag comes down. A late flag, so it is a first down for the Warriors, but let's see what the penalty is.
This is coming from the referee himself.
Holding on the offense. So the penalty's really mounting up against the Warriors now. We're down inside of 4 minutes to go in the ball game. So we got to pick a player
Holding
of the game
on the
from
offense.
each team, right?
10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay the down.
They got some tough choices. Yeah, that would be a good choice right there. I think I'm going to go with this man right here. That's up to you, but
No, that's good. It was either him or
yeah, I agree. All right, so the clock is restarted. 2nd down and 13 to go. Savage passing incomplete, kind of thrown behind the intended receiver. Had another receiver in the area who might have also had a chance at it, but when the first receiver, who was Grandy, couldn't catch it, he kind of tipped it and caused the no chance for a completion. Savage for the game, 13 of 22, 136 yards, and Grandy with 7 catches for 69 yards. So Grandy's done a fine job not only running the ball, but catching it as well.
That's what you want to go with?
I think so, yeah. And some tough choices there because, you know, you'd almost want to give it to the defensive team.
Yeah.
Ball is up in the air loose for a moment. The runner juggled it and got it back. That would have been a real bad break for the Warriors had he not recovered his own fumble. There you see Grandy on your screen. He's a young man who I think is going to get our player of the game. So our players of the game, Keith Grandy from the Warriors and Daz Newsome from the Hampton Crabbers. And again, a lot of other clear candidates for that position.
Well, Newsome had the first touchdown.
And another touchdown later.
And then a long pass.
Yep. Now there's been a lot of good play on both sides of the ball tonight. As we've said before, it's totally unscientific. I hope that I'll get a chance to be re-invited back here for maybe like the 40th anniversary or something like that. If I can sneak into town so the officials don't see me. Oh, I'd love to do that game next week with Hampton and Phoebus. That should be.
Come on, come back up.
Yeah, sure. It's only 8 hours each way.
Well, yeah, you can make it.
If Andy wants to pay the airfare, I'm game.
Airfare? We can't get him to buy pizza.
That's not fair.
I know.
Savage keeping the ball alive, and he is going to go out of bounds after he picks up the first down. So he accomplished two important things. Oh, you know what? They're saying that he stepped out of bounds before he got to the first down.
He did?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're marking him at the 30 instead of the 32.
Oh, my.
So, again, our vantage point not nearly as good as the officials on the far side of the field. But there you see Alonzo Coley is livid. He is over there telling the official, as you can see at the bottom of your screen, he is absolutely livid with that mark. And you know what? That young man has got a case tonight. He's been on the wrong end of a couple of calls. He just got a flag against his team. He is really, really angry.
The players have to hold him back. But
do we have it on replay, Andy, where we could see? I know it was on the far side of the field. But if we could. Okay. I'm going to take a chance or see if we can get a quick look at that.
I thought he would have stepped out, went way past.
Yeah, I
After
thought so too.
play, unsportsmanlike conduct against Kecoughtan. 15-yard penalty results in a first down.
You know, he's got to be exasperated because this has been a tough night for his team as far as the calls they got. But so let's see if we can spot it. But again, the officials far better opportunity to see that ball than we could from this side of the field. But it sure appeared like he stayed in bounds long enough to get the first down. So this is Savage. Oh, I don't
see him going out of bounds until after he got by.
I didn't either.
Because he's moving him clear.
And they marked him a yard or two short. So now the ball goes over because that was fourth down. So the Crabbers just need to run the clock out in essence to finish the ball game. Kecoughtan does have 2 timeouts remaining. But the clock, as you see on your screen, is moving. And I guess Coach Coley just said, you know, enough is enough.
Well, you know, he just, you know, you gotta pull for your team. And from here, it looked like he made it. You and I did, and we still couldn't be definitive. But like you said, the officials are right there.
Yeah, that was, you know, that was not a call we were privy to have a real opportunity to see, but it did appear like he stepped out of bounds after he got the first. But, you know, the official right there, so we have to give him definitely the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely.
So the clock is stopped with 2:34 to go. Kecoughtan has exercised their second timeout.
Well, let me tell you something. I've really enjoyed it. You sure you can't come up next? It's a Saturday game, so.
I know. I actually told Andy when, unfortunately, we had originally planned to do the Hampton-Bethel game when it was ultimately scheduled for Friday night, and of course that didn't happen as all the teams' games were postponed all the way till Tuesday. I would love to come back and do the game, but I don't know if my wheels will handle it.
Well, wait a minute. You just told me you had a great retirement.
I have a wonderful wife who's not going to say, "You're going where?"
Bless Donna's heart. She's got to bring you in when she can.
For 25 years, she watched me on Friday nights, not at home.
I know. And I can remember when you were working with HarmonHomes.com, and you would fly in, do the game, and see her, and goodbye.
Yeah, I'd be gone till Thursday night, do a game on Friday night, fall asleep on Saturday, and leave on Sunday. Reverse handoff. This is Newsom, and he is in for the score. So Newsom takes the ball 10 yards to put the finishing touches on this one.
Well, that's the third touchdown for Daz Newsom.
Let's go back to the sidelines real quickly for Brent and Paul.
Just want to give you a heads up. What's going on down here on the sidelines is what really got him keyed up on that call, guys, was the official that was on this side. Marked it as a first down. He was beyond the markers. Then all of a sudden he takes 2 steps back, and the coaches happened to be standing behind him when all that took place. And of course, the other side, they're talking about the official gave a mark like the play was over, is what they thought, and then all of a sudden it stepped back and it's not a first down. And Paul was keeping.
Yeah. I was trying to keep Brent and I safe on this side. It was getting very tense over this situation. But you got to give the Crabbers credit. They held Kecoughtan down at the far end and then marched down the field, got the score. They held Kecoughtan, and it looks like they're going to leave this stadium tonight with another victory, guys.
All right, thank you, gentlemen on the sideline. That's Paul Rowe and Brent Musgrove. Musgrove. I'm going to say Musburger.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think that's who he is.
Well, I think so, too. 3 touchdowns for Newsom tonight. He had a variety of them. He had a 10-yard run, a 69-yard reception, and a 86-yard kickoff return. So certainly earned his being awarded the player of the game.
The 2-point conversion was no good, but there was
a penalty flag.
Penalty on the game.
And this is going to be a conversion as he gets into the end zone. Quillen. So that makes the score now 33-12. And, you know, the score is really not indicative of the game, which it's kind of hard to explain that. But Kecoughtan has played extremely well. They've just given up the big plays and some controversial plays. So here's the replay of the touchdown. This is Newsom on the reverse, and he just bulls his way into the end zone. So Newsom, you said, Bob, if I remember correctly, he is just a junior, so he'll be back.
He'll be back next year. I don't know who they'll have as quarterback, but Mike Smith seems to come up with somebody every year.
I bet you Mike Smith will have somebody. He's had a plethora of good quarterbacks come through this city.
Boy, I tell you, it's just amazing how many great quarterbacks he's had.
And I've tried to remember some of the names. There was Hunter.
Eric Hunter won the state championship in '89.
Yeah. That was a fun year to do football, too.
Oh, wasn't it?
You and I had some great times doing the games for this Peninsula District. Between the Phoebus Phantoms football successes and basketball and
Oh, you didn't get to see Todd Boyd when he.
I saw him when I saw him at Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson.
I followed him.
What a nice quarterback and a super nice young man.
Well, I've heard nothing but praise about that young man from his actual, being who he is as a person.
Well, he's up in the Canadian League, and the guys at the sideline don't know how to turn off their microphones.
I did hear him say something about 6 more seats on that plane out in the morning.
You think that's what it was? Oh, Lordy.
So the Warriors trailing big time now, 33-12 with the ball at the 35. Savage still in the ball game, throws downfield, and it is intercepted. And he may go all the way, but it's going to be very close.
And that's
Quillen. So the quarterback, who also plays safety, intercepted the ball and returned it for yet another touchdown, as Hampton is now getting their second wind, if you will. Paul mentioned on the sideline when we were talking earlier in the third quarter that Hampton's defense was looking to be a little tired.
Yeah.
And but the offense has picked that up quite nicely ever since. Quillen over there on the sidelines getting a pat on the behind to congratulate him for his efforts. 60-yard run by Quillen on the return, the interception return. Yes, I do. You're not going to get me to do that. A famous line given to us by Scotty Bowers. And we... You're not going to get me to say it. This has been fun. And, that's not good. That's not good. Sorry to see that, as he is limping off with no weight on that right foot.
And that may have been the foot that Brent and Paul was talking about that he had tweaked earlier.
Well, I didn't see what happened at the end of the play where the interception resulted in a touchdown a few moments ago. I was watching the interception, to be quite honest with you, and I didn't see what happened to Savage. But that's a real shame, because he's played a real fine ball game, and you never want to see anybody hurt. But now for him to be late in this game, now they've got a game coming up next week, and now the question will be, will Savage be able to suit up?
Yeah.
Here's the touchdown. See if we can see what happened to Quillen on this play.
You mean Savage?
Yeah. As I say Quillen, I'm sorry. Well, this is Quillen. I had Quillen on the mind.
Yeah.
But I don't think Savage tried to make a tackle, which could have resulted. Well, actually, he did.
He did.
So when he went to make the tackle, he must have sprained his leg.
No, that's actually number 11 there. That's not Savage. That was, no, that is Savage.
Yeah,
you're right.
Savage,
that's
number 11.
Yeah. And he twisted around trying to make the tackle and tweak that ankle.
Well, it looks like he may have more than tweaked it the way he was unable to put any weight on it. They're going to try a little fake dipsy-doodle play here as Kecoughtan has to try and pull out all the stops. Still on his feet, still going, and then finally blasted out of bounds at about the 38-yard line.
Well, he played tippy-toe on that sideline.
You know what? That's dangerous, because you got
it
those big defensive
and everybody's coming at you.
Yeah, and as long as he's on his feet, he's game. So Kecoughtan, again, now trailing big time. And again, the score the big plays have killed Kecoughtan, if I can be totally repetitious.
Be my guest.
So I was looking at some of my other stuff here, and I did want to make sure we talked about the Bethel girls. I'm sorry, the Hampton girls. I did talk about that, and the Phoebus girls winning the championship in basketball.
Well, we had a shot of. We did have a shot there of Brett Wheeler. He went all the way and took Kecoughtan to the state finals in baseball.
That's right.
They got beat, but that one, a tremendous pitcher, was a coach and gave up coaching. This last year at Kecoughtan. He won't be coaching this year.
Here's your new quarterback in there with a nice play 14-yard gain. Excuse me, number 14 on the play. That's Cameron Stevenson. He is just a sophomore, so they'll be looking for things from him down the road.
Look like we got somebody hurt down there. Getting up.
Of course, Desmond Savage is a senior, so it would appear, at least by the fact that that this young man who's just come in to run the play, Cameron Stevenson, may very well be the successor. He'll be a junior next year.
Not a real big kid. Only 5'9", 165, but he is a what you call built like a scat back, and he showed some good running ability.
He did.
Out of the pistol.
This is Stevenson being buried, and a late flag comes in back at the Kecoughtan 45-yard line. So that play did not go well for the Warriors. Buck 28 remaining in the ball game.
Face mask against the Crabbers.
The Crabbers. So let's take a quick look at that last play and see if we can detect the face mask call.
Whoa!
Oh my, that's dangerous.
Personal foul, face mask against the defense, 15-yard penalty.
Yeah,
Replay,
looked
first
like
down.
an owl for a moment there, so we.
Was that an automatic first down? Or, evidently not.
You know, it says it's first down, so apparently no. I was surprised. I thought a personal foul would be first down.
It is first down.
Yeah, it's first and 3. That's the question we have. And again, Stevenson creamed as he threw the ball, and it goes incomplete downfield. So the little guy is getting hammered in the backfield, but he bounced right back up. I love the little guys in football. You know, usually they're the toughest guys out there because they've had to be. 5'9".
5'9", 170.
So the incomplete pass stops the clock with buck 14 remaining. Second down and 3. It's been fun having Paul and Brent down on the sideline with their vantage points.
That's worked out good tonight.
Pressure again. Cameron Stevenson gets it off, completes the pass. First down inside the 20, down to about the 18-yard line. And again, that's Fugate who was on the receiving end of that pass. Or Fugate. Is it Fugate?
Yes, I think it's Fugate.
Nonetheless, Mr. Fugate has the first down at the 21-yard line. Is where they'll actually mark the ball.
Nice little screen pass that time.
Well,
watch the replay on
Did we have another flag?
Got a personal foul roughing the passer against the defense. We'll tack that on half the distance to the goal. First down.
So roughing the passer call against the defense, against the Crabbers, moves the ball all the way down to the 9-yard line where it'll be first and goal for Kecoughtan. .101 in the ball game.
That Fugate again?
I believe that was Grandy, but I'm not sure. Fugate. Hampton 10 penalties for 93 yards, so both teams have really hurt themselves. There you see Mr. Fugate with his hands on his hips. He's got to be a tired young man.
Yes, he has.
He's been very active tonight. He's played a real good ball game.
Well, Desmond Savage became limping out. Tim, I was telling you during the preseason practice scrimmages, he sprained a foot. He sprained a foot, and that may be what happened that time. He just may have re-injured the foot.
Coach Coley out on the field, a little more composed at this point in the game. He did pick up an unsportsmanlike penalty for his being upset about that mark of the ball.
Well, I think he held it back as long as he could.
Might have been a cumulative effect. So the Warriors, with just 42 seconds remaining, 1st and goal.
Good hand. He hard snap. He fumbled it, but grabbed it and just went north and south.
So they kept possession. I missed a down. It's actually 3rd down. I said 1st and goal. It's 3rd down and goal. 21 seconds, and the clock is moving. Here's Fugate for the touchdown. So the young man has a very good night on offense. Gets the touchdown, and again, unfortunately for the Kecoughtan Warriors, a little too late, a little too little. So 39-18, making it a little more respectable. But again, hats off to both teams. Here's Hampton coming in with just 2 days rest. Fugate with a 3-yard touchdown run. 22 carries, 114 yards on the night for Mr. Fugate. And the extra point try is good.
But Hampton can now say, okay, we're playing Friday. We don't play until next Saturday.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get a deserved rest. Here's a replay of the touchdown by Fugate. Kind of a mix-up in the backfield on the handoff, but again, you might expect that with your backup quarterback in there.
The timing got to be a little bit off because he probably doesn't work with the the first-string offense all the time.
And they still made it work.
Yeah, he did.
But like I said, I wanted to take my hat off to both teams because Hampton coming in with very little rest. Tough game against Bethel Tuesday night, turn around and play on Friday night. And Kecoughtan, they played extremely well. They just unfortunately gave up the big plays. And you know, and that's all part of the game. You gotta stop them all the time, and they weren't able to do that. But I think the future for Coach Coley and his team looks pretty bright.
I love what he has done over there. Kecoughtan went through about 3 or 4 coaches there in a short period of time, and he's walked in there and has taken the leadership role and got a good coaching staff.
Might see an onside kick. We do. The ball didn't go far enough. Hampton staying away from it because they don't have to touch it. If the ball doesn't go at least 10 yards.
And that's where the penalty comes from.
Right.
Illegal touching.
Yeah, well, they had to go 10 yards. Now, you know, they changed the rules in college. I'm assuming they did in high school, where, you know, you keep trying and the penalized, we kept getting a chance. Anymore, they eliminated that, where the receiving team gets the ball. They don't get a chance. You used to see 3 or 4 attempts.
Well, he's just given an illegal touching, and the ball goes right over to the crabber.
And they just really need to take the knee here, and this ball game be over. Both teams have used all of their timeouts.
Again, I've enjoyed it.
I have enjoyed it immensely. It started off a little rough. I couldn't do the opening game without having some senior moments.
Well, it's just something that is ingrained in that pink little brain up there. It has to be W something. Why isn't it WLCS, right?
Well, that's right. And then when Andy said, take number 17, I said, you know, I might want to get this one right. Want to thank our crew again, our sideline guys, Brent and Paul, doing a great job. Of course, being a huge help up here is Frank Edgar, who's been handing me statistics throughout the game as the ball is snapped, and that will be the final play. Of course, Brent and Frank and Paul assisting, Andy Foley, our director, as well as our producer. Yep. Okay, so we're going to go down to the sideline as the game is over with now, and we're going to go to Paul Rowe telling us about the anniversary piece.
All right, thank you a whole lot, guys. You know or you don't know, that we are celebrating 35 years of televising sports in Hampton City Schools. We started out as Channel 5, then went to Channel 29, then went to Channel 46, and today it is LSC, Channel 48. And we're bringing you athletes, student athletes, from the city of Hampton who are playing sports, and all sports. We're talking about everything from football to swimming to tennis, you name it. We've been doing this. And guys in the booth, Bob Hintz, along with Tim Cole, were the first two who kind of started the football and the other sports for WHCS Channel 5. And we've been broadcasting now for 35 years. And we really appreciate the fact that Tim Cole came back all the way from Charleston, South Carolina tonight to be with us for the 35th anniversary. And Tim, we really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You guys did a super job over there. That anniversary piece, a showcase where we show you the athletes we've been broadcasting for years, showed today during halftime of this game, and it'll show again after the game, and you'll be able to see that piece when you watch this game and throughout the year as we celebrate 35 years here at LSC Channel 46, which used to be, 48, which used to be 46, which used to be 29, which used to be 5. Getting all these numbers confused down here. But we want all of you guys to remember that we are showcasing the student athletes of Hampton City Schools, and we've been doing that for a long time. And again, we want to thank the entire crew because everything has changed. As Tim said, there are more cameras today than there ever been before. We're now doing this in HD. The technology has changed tremendously, and we here at the station love what we've done. So guys, once again, thank you. 35 years, it's been wonderful. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Brent. You guys did a great job on the sideline. You know,
We did.
The support team behind all these broadcasts have been wonderful. From the early days when we had the crew, Dr. Still started out. Of course, Bev Penn was part of the crew, and I don't want to try to name everybody because I couldn't possibly.
Jerome Young and Young Sammy was on the sideline.
Slow Mo Joe, great slow motion man that we had.
A.G. Womble.
A.G. Womble, sure. I mean, like I said, I'm afraid to start trying to name people because I know we're going to forget. There was a lot of volunteers, young volunteers that came out and helped us pull cable in rain and cold and heat and, all these different things. So over the years, it's been a real part of us to do this, and it was a love fest because we've always enjoyed doing this. And a lot of people say, well, gee, you did this for so long. Didn't you get tired of doing it? We never got tired of doing it because you got these great athletes that are out here day after day.
And new guys all the time.
All the time.
New athletes. It's just amazing.
And what's really fun is to look at some of these young athletes on all the different schools from the peninsula who have gone on to play very well in college and in the pros. We're talking about Gerard Mayo. We got, of course, currently Tyrod Taylor. You've got Michael Vick.
Dwight Hollier played for the Miami Dolphins. We've got you can't name them all. In fact, I'm afraid we're going to forget some.
Well, and one comes to my old mind, Chris Handberger, who played for Hampton, ultimately played for the Washington Redskins.
For a while.
Way back when.
Yeah, way back.
So, well, that's going to do it for us tonight. Andy, are we wrapping this beautiful game up tonight? Wrap it up. Okay. For Bob Hintz, the entire crew, this is Tim Cole. Thanks for watching. The final score again, Hampton 39, Kecoughtan 19. Thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.
Anyone familiar with Hampton athletes will recognize names like Allen Iverson, Ronald Curry, Lakeisha Frett, Francina McCrory, Tyrod Taylor, Nikki Reed Geckler, and Jake Cade. These are just some of the people who have gone on to pursue sports professionally and have had success. And by success, that means not only playing in college, but also playing for the NFL, NBA, WNBA, and even winning gold medals in the Olympics.
Standing his own end zone, Hendricks wants to throw. He's got Brown on the pattern, and he leaps for the catch.
Oh, what a grab.
At the 37-yard
We're celebrating 35 years of high school athletics on television, showcasing Hampton City Schools student athletes. The earliest coverage of high school sports were sports reports hosted by A.G. Womble.
For the Hampton City Schools Sports Report, I'm A.G. Womble for Channel 29. Hey!
Dr. Sam Still Jr. was one of the early architects of WHCS. He started sports coverage in the early 80s. Bob Hintz, Tim Cole, and AG were the first on-air personalities to cover high school athletics for Hampton City Schools. Scotty Bowers would shoot and edit many of the sports reports. He would become the director of what is now PEG TV. Even back then, Dr. Still, Scotty, Bob, AG, and Tim saw the importance of showcasing high school sports coverage on television.
A lot of these athletes were superior athletes, and it was a way to highlight their achievements and actually use some of these tapes to get an opportunity for a scholarship to further education and to play in college football later on, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever it might be.
That showcasing continues today with Sports Time, a show where viewers can take a walk down memory lane with host Bob Hintz by getting to know former and current players and coaches. They share their experiences of growing up in Hampton and how their athletics career began. Sports producer Wube Gabre and Bob have produced 250 Sports Time shows. Other shows produced by PEG TV include a special edition of Sports Time at Big Walt's Barbershop, The Journey Tyrod Taylor, and Mike Tomlin's Tailgate Fundraiser at NASCAR Grill. Today, Channel 48, or local sports channel, produces full coverage of games with as many as 7 cameras, instant replay, real-time graphics and animations, field reporters, statisticians, and play-by-play announcers. Initially, football was the first sport covered. As interest grew in sports broadcast, coverage spread to girls and boys basketball, track and field, baseball, softball, field hockey, wrestling, volleyball, tennis, soccer, gymnastics, and swimming. Bob Hintz has been here for all of LSC's sports coverage.
So we didn't have the technology we have today, where we have not only the earphones, you can hear the other guy talk, you can hear the truck talk to you, just that plus slow motion replay and the multi-cameras, because I think we only had 1, maybe 2 cameras, I can't remember, but you know, it was not high tech, but it was fun, we enjoyed it.
Today's production team consists of 4 camera operators, an audio engineer, instant replay operator, camera control unit operator, graphics and animation, and a director. Everyone fills different roles at different times to complete a production. Current on-air personalities include Bob Hintz, Brent Musgrove, Frank Edgar, and Paul Rowe. And Mike Hauser called games for many years, covering a wide range of sports.
The crew was probably the best group of people I've ever known. They worked in the most ridiculously difficult circumstances: rain, snow on occasion, sleet, heat. You know, it didn't matter whether we were doing baseball, football, basketball, soccer. They were always there, and they gave it 100% as if they were being paid big time, and most of the time a lot of these people were just volunteering their time.
It gives me so much pleasure to do this. It's to not only see the athletes, but to work with the coaches, to work with the athletic directors, to work with the principals. They all are very supportive of what we do, and it makes you feel like you're doing something for the community. And I know the community that watches this channel, and it's amazing how many people watch this channel, that just reach out to us. Every now and then we walk through a store, you're walking down the street, or you're in a restaurant, and they'll come up and say, "Oh, I love your show. I watched it the other night," or just, they've always got a comment, and it's always positive. So the feedback that you get, the camaraderie you get to have with the coaches and the staffs at the school is tremendous.
Now, anyone can watch a game from the mid-'80s to the present on Cox Cable Channel 48 and Verizon Fios Channel 23. In the past few years, games have been made available on YouTube in high-definition television. You can also contact PEG TV to purchase a DVD copy of a game. You can follow many of Hampton City Schools alumni on television or the internet as they continue to pursue their professional sports career on the national stage. To keep up with current HCS athletes who are just beginning to carve out his or her own legacy, keep watching PEG TV. You never know who you'll see heading to the national stage next.